Music licensing reimagined.
Long time coming, black on the bottom of my feet from running. Cataracts under my eyes from hustling. Going from buying and selling to customers. Run up the business, God is my witness. Sun up the sun up from under the sun that we maxing our limits. My mind running like Tom Cruise on an action movie. Moving the mission, they say that I'm tripping. I've been told I need a vacation, I'm finessing a visit.
Oh, what is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers and welcome to Stat Diggers for UFC Vegas 111. We have Gabriel Bonfam going against Randy Brown. We are right back in the Apex for another 13-fight card. And I'll be honest, I'm pretty upset right now. I'm pretty upset. So I don't know if you saw. I know you've been busy all day with researching the fights, Weezy, but I did a video today, recapping the recent events that took place at UFC Vegas 110. I went really in depth. I touched on all the key points. And since I posted that video, which I posted it around like 4 Eastern time, like 6 hours ago, since I posted that video, a ton of new information has came out, and it's bad, man. It's really bad. What's going on is horrible. Apparently, a lot of fighters are coming out and saying that, people have approached them and said, hey, would you throw this fight for X amount of dollars? Fighters like Vince Morales, Vanessa Demopoulos came out and said it. Lando Venata came out and said it. We have a much, much bigger problem on our hands, a lot bigger than, Isaac Dulgarian threw the fight. This could be big. Some of the stuff I'm hearing, this could be, and this is huge. This is huge news. And to be honest, it's hard to focus on fights this week. It's hard to, focus on breaking down these fights. It's hard to focus on betting on these fights, at least for me, because this is such a big story. We haven't had a big story like this. Closest to it was, the Minner situation, but that kind of got thrown under the rug. This won't get thrown under the rug. A lot of, people in the media are talking about it. A lot of people with big, platforms are talking about it. A lot of people that work for the UFC, like DC's talking about it. Michael Chase is talking about it. This is huge, Weezy. And we keep learning, more and more stuff. Each couple hours, every couple hours, Isaac Dulgarian, his purse has been withheld. He doesn't get his purse. Isaac Dulgarian's been cut. We're just learning. We keep learning stuff more and more as time goes on. So what is up, Weezy? It's been a wild last couple of days. What are your thoughts on everything going down?
My first thought is I'm not surprised in the least. We've talked about this before, and to me, it's always that it's the commission corruption that really makes me angry. It's the referees getting away with shit that is clearly fight fixing, not necessarily for the result of who's going to win or lose, but for whatever the desired event is that people are paying them to try to ensure. And whether it's the judges, whether it's the referees, whether it's just the commission as a whole, like literally just ignoring rules. The rules of the game are just being thrown out the window. Like you're only supposed to use replay after a fight and in a fight ending situation after the fight has been waved off. If you use replay to get the answer, the fight is automatically over, and you have to either call it a DQ or a no contest. And we've seen that happen literally 4 times where they've started up fights that by rule should have had to have been called the DQ or a no contest. And it's the commission doing that over and over and over again, which is infuriating. But these kind of things, like what happened with Dulgarian, I think it's just so important because it's going to shed light on all the other shit as well. It's going to shed light on all of the questionable refereeing that got results that were what Vegas needed, it's going to shed light on some of this judging that we've seen. It's going to shed light on some of the questionable fighter performances. You know what the first fucking thing I thought of today when somebody said that they were approached about, throwing a fight was? I was like, Melissa Mullins versus Daria Zheleznyakova.
We can name 100 different scenarios.
And I know, but that's the point is like that they've got these lower level fighters that are only making $12,000 to win. You know, I mean, so it literally costs nothing to buy these fighters off. You know, when I saw Vince Morales claim that he had been offered money to lose a fight, but then he had lost the fight anyway, Brett Apley, one of the OGs of the community, comes out and says, you know, how much did they offer you? And he flat out says $70K. He said it on Twitter, Brady.
Yeah.
Is that still available?
He deleted his tweets pretty quickly.
Okay, well, I'll tell you something, right? So when I saw that, I thought two things, right? I thought, number one, Vince Morales is going to be getting a call, you know, from somebody very powerful telling him to take that tweet down. And then as a result of me thinking that, my next thought was, Wheezy, you better screenshot this shit because you know that this tweet is getting pulled down. So I screenshotted it. I have it. You know, I DM'd it to you if you want to put it up on the screen. You could see word for word what this guy said. I've got it up on my screen. I'll read it out right now. This is Vince Morales' official X account. It's at Vendetta135. All this throwing the fight stuff is crazy. I've been approached about doing it, and it's not something I could live with, even though I ended up losing the damn fight anyways. And then Brett Apley asks him, how much were you offered? And Vince says, pennies, considering how big of a deal it is, $70K. And Brett says, for sure. Thanks for sharing. And yeah, there it is, you guys. There's proof that a UFC fighter, you know, on Twitter went out and said that he's been offered money. And then now, after he did that, who else? Vanessa Demopoulos?
Vanessa Demopoulos,
Lando Venata?
Yeah.
And how many others now? And how many fights that made no sense 3 months ago are starting to make perfect sense right about now? You know?
You want to know what fight came to mind for me?
Was it Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez?
No, it was Nate Milletness versus Jimmy Flick.
Yeah.
And guess who got cut the day after?
Yeah. Like immediately after that fight, they cut Nate Maness and
off a win.
Yeah, I know. And like this, they hung this under 1.5 number that was like huge all week. And everybody was smashing it and it wasn't moving. And you know, and then all of a sudden it just goes over. The next one that I thought of was, I wonder how much Mansour Abdul Malik got paid to not fight for fucking 10 straight minutes against Cody Brundage. You remember that fight?
Do I ever?
And I mean, like, and if the FBI's looking for people with like the receipts, Brady, I've got write-ups for every one of these fights. I've got spreadsheets with betting lines saved in them for every one of these fights. I've got videotapes of us, well, not videotapes, obviously online, you know, evidence of us talking about all of these scandals in real time as they were happening, whether it was Jason Herzog, whether it was Dan Murgliata, whether it was some of the ridiculous judging that we've seen, whether it was fights getting started up that weren't supposed to be started back up again, you know, and over and over and over again. And, you know, just wondering, like, why did this fighter fight this way? You know, why did Corey McKenna not wrestle against Elise Reed? You know, like all these things that are tantamount to throwing a fight. Like I said it on Twitter after the Melissa Mullins Zheleznyakova fight, because I was like, they've done this before. You know, this fight, it started on the feet. And Daria absolutely boxed the face off of Melissa Mullins. She wound up going for a desperation takedown after getting pieced up for 4 straight minutes, and then immediately gets her back and finishes her with a ground and pound, I think. 1 second left in the round. And then the next fight, she doesn't wrestle at all and gets her face boxed off for 3 rounds and loses a fight where she was, what, a -250 favorite, -300?
Yeah. Terrible.
You know, so either she's the dumbest fighter in the world or she might have thrown that fight. And I'd like to know what her bank account looked like after that. Did she get any money that we don't know about? You know, did her mom get a brand new car? You know,
Yeah.
it's just something that I think that we and if there are people out there that are interested in looking at it and they need a little help, boy, I'd love to blow the fucking lid off of whatever it is that these people are doing that are taking the integrity away from the markets that we consider to be our jobs, Brady. This is our job, is analyzing these fights. And it would be kind of ridiculous if we were doing shows like this for the WWE, which everybody knows is scripted. But now it's getting to the point where it's like, well, if this is scripted too, then what's the fucking point of betting on it? So if there's a way that we can be of assistance in terms of cleaning up these betting markets and making these fights be about competition again and not about how small groups of people can profit from fixing markets and manipulating markets, I think it's disgusting. And anything I can do to help, I'd love to be of assistance to anybody. Please let me know what I can do.
Yeah, man. I mean, after hearing all this stuff, it's like you look back at some of these things, and it's like, yeah, that was probably a fixed fight. I mean, it makes no sense. Like I tweeted earlier, like I won't forget the Yaya fight. Remember the Yaya win fight? You know, the over 1.5 got smashed last second, and then all of a sudden, this guy gets dropped a record 6 times, and the fight goes over somehow, right? Like you're looking back, I don't know, and you know, Herzog, his name's getting thrown out there. I didn't throw it out there. I would love to throw Herzog's name out there. I didn't throw it out there, but Herzog's taking a lot of heat, man. It's Herzog that's getting thrown out there, not any other ref. I see a lot of Herzog out there, which I find is very interesting, and it makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's so hard to talk about these fights this week because what's happening right now with this, you know, as somebody that, you know, we make content solely based on UFC gambling, Brady. And it turns out that the markets that we make our living off of, you know, we make our living commentating off of, doing content based on these things. You know, we have products that we sell to people who love gambling on this shit. We give them information, you know, and now our entire world has been thrown into a tailspin because of what happened on Saturday night out in wide open, and greedy, stupid people, bad criminals, the kind of criminals that Jimmy Conway in the movie Goodfellas would be bitching them out, telling them to take that Cadillac back. I don't care if it's in your mother's name, you know, take it back, you know, you're not going to go out and buy your wife a fur coat after you just won $250,000 from an ill-gotten gain that nobody was supposed to find out about. And some people with big nuts went out there and made maybe the stupidest pre-flop bet that you could ever make. Yadier Del Valle to win in round 1 against Isaac Dulgarian.
Yeah.
You could have only watched 3 UFC fights in your life and known that Dulgarian was going to destroy this guy early in the fight. So why would you bet that? Why would you make that bet? And why would you steam the hell out of it? You know, like have a little bit, you know, like don't announce yourselves to the world. Act like a smooth criminal. Act like a criminal who's been there before. You know, don't be that idiot that scores a touchdown and then starts celebrating like a moron, and then he gets a flag thrown on him, and then he gets bitched out on the sidelines in front of 3 different coaches, and the cameras catch all of it, and then when he's got his helmet off, he's crying like a pussy. You know, don't be that guy, you know, because that always ends badly. You know, you watch these mob movies and they're great, but the last half hours of Goodfellas, you know, it ain't good. It doesn't end well for these gentlemen a lot of the time. Scarface, for instance, it didn't end well, Brady. I don't know if you've seen the movie, but I don't want to ruin it for you. But it didn't end well for Tony Montana, you know? So these dumbass criminals, and I don't know what how he thought that they were going to get away with this, but they're not going to get away with it. And he's going to be the face now. Now Derek Minner somewhere is laughing his ass off because he's like, I'm finally off the hook. Bulgarian fucking did something so stupid that now people are going to fucking put my name on the back burner somewhere.
Yeah, and it's more than Bulgarian. I mean, somebody brought up, remember that fight where Nakamura didn't wrestle as a -800 favorite?
That's right. He went to the decision with Fernie Garcia, I remember. Remember that one?
Oh, my God. Remember, like, we always joke, we're like, yeah, steakhouse bet, but I guess it was all true.
Yes. Yeah, it is. I mean, like, the steakhouse bet is something that I think that, how about Gilton versus Derek Lewis?
Minus
How the
2,000.
fuck did that go 25 minutes?
Minus 2,000, fight doesn't go.
Yeah. DraftKings Open fight doesn't go to decision at minus 10,000. Minus 10,000, dude. Think about that. I mean, it's absolutely crazy.
It's fucking stupid, man. This whole situation. It's so stupid, man.
Well, I got to tell you, man, it's been a long losing streak for me over these last 6 months, I'd have to say, Brady. I've walked head first into, I think if you look at my betting record at the end of this year, and then say 6 months after the end of this year, if there is any kind of real investigation, and if we do find out about fights that were actually fixed, I'll bet I'm fucking on the wrong side of not only did I bet on 80% of them, but I think I've been on the wrong side of just so many of them. Like, I can remember getting that Mike Mallet by decision over Kevin Holland, and that was bullshit because that fight should not have been started again. But for that, that catch that I got, there were 10 others where I walked face first into Jake Matthews inside the distance against Magny. Anti-Delia. I lost 4 units on the Anti-Delia fight. How? I lost 3 units tracked on Bulgarian, even though I got out of the position, but you can't take that out of, Bet MMA Tips, because we didn't get that information until long after the card had started. So it's been a wild ride, but I'm really looking forward to see how this shakes out. And I hope the people that are out there trying to get this information and to see the light of day, Brady, I hope they're brave and I hope they're fucking persistent, because our markets have been marred. It's really bad, dude. This is on boxing levels now, and boxing has been comically corrupt for decades. I mean, ever since I was a kid, I can remember being at my dad's restaurant with all of his Greek buddies that were gamblers. And back in the 80s, Brady, in the 80s, they'd talk about how you couldn't even bet on boxing anymore because it was all fixed, And here we are now. And it's we've looked at how many fights this year, and just, I wonder how much of it is fixed at this point. It could be an alarming percent.
And it's just sad because I've never been that guy that's like, oh, this fight was fixed. This fight was fixed. But
yeah,
with all this stuff, it's like, oh yeah, that was fixed. That one was fixed. Yeah, that had to be fixed. You're questioning yourself. You're second guessing yourself. It's a really, really big problem. But there was so much to talk about for Saturday's event. We went 2 hours live actually after the event. We talked about it for 2 hours, but the Dumas fight I thought was really weird. Dante Johnson all of a sudden turned into a wrestler. Dumas was doing grounded rolling thunders. I think he had 2 or 3 of them.
He had at least 2.
At least 2 of them. He landed one. He went 1 for 2, I think, on the ground. The very first ever grounded rolling thunder. So shout to Dumas for that. And by the way, I think Dumas got a new contract. I saw the UFC roster tracker today posted that Dumas is added to the roster or something, which might mean he got a new contract or something.
Yeah, I don't know what that was just weird because he's already on it,
Yeah.
So
I was thinking maybe he got a new contract or something, but fact of the matter is he didn't get cut.
Yeah, or there could be another prospect with the name of Cedricus Dumas, which would just be really unlucky for that prospect, because now everyone's going to think he's him. But no, I don't know what to think about that. But who am I kidding? I think it's a great thing. here on Stat Diggers, you know, like Cedricus Dumas fight week always brings us comedy. Always. So if they give him another 5 fights, Brady, I'm good with it, you know?
Next fight, I'm going to pick him to win by grounded rolling thunder. The very first ever grounded rolling thunder. Oh gosh, that was hilarious. Man, obviously the Bulgarian Davao fight, we touched on that for hours at this point. I thought the main event was really weird with David Onama. Just decided not to fight that night. I don't know, it was just it had been one of the most crooked and corrupt cards in recent memory, and that's a lot. That's saying a lot because we've had a ton these last couple of weeks. And I was saying on my prediction, my betting breakdown video, I'm like, man, I'm glad we're back in Vegas. No more Canada Commission who doesn't know what the hell they're doing. No more crooked Brazil Commission who's letting people fight with broken hands. We're back in Vegas where they're still crooked, but they're not that crooked, right? And then this happens. The most crooked card had to be the most crooked card of all time.
Yeah, because the Bulgarian thing was just awful, and then you had for the 4th time.
Oh,
the 4th time in 5 cards? You had a commission pretending like it doesn't know its own rules.
Yeah,
and just like pretending, that you can just start a fight off after you bring a stool in for the guy too. You bring a stool in for the guy, and now you can start the fight up. And it's just like, what's the point of having a commission if they don't even know the rules that they're supposed to abide by when it comes to how instant replay is used and how you react when a fight gets waved off and stopped by the referee?
Yeah.
So, God, it's disgusting.
Yep. So, yeah, I guess we can recap. Of course, man. The milking was a rigged fight.
And I'm telling you, man, we were DMing all week. We were like, dude, what is with this Bulgarian line? He should be minus 500. He is going to melt this dude. I mean, and of course he just sits there at minus 250. Like there was anybody on Del Valle,
Yeah, I didn't really see anybody on Del Valle until after the fight.
Yeah, until, obviously on fight day, then a lot of people all of a sudden were on Del Valle and they were smart to get on him.
Yeah. And then the piping was, it wasn't really, this was a milking. Charles Racky milked Daniel Frunza. Frunza looked awful. And shout to Racky showing fight IQ.
Oh, he looked great.
Yeah. Shout to Racky.
Yeah, poor guy. He went out there and had a really great performance. Really put on a masterclass against Frunza, as did Suk-Hyun Ko against Rowe. That was a masterclass, a beautiful, beautiful performance. And all of those really good performances that happened, nobody's going to talk about them.
No.
Because Isaac Bulgarian is a scumbag.
Yep.
That's why, and it's just, it's disgusting because, like, even Steve Garcia, a lot of people are talking shit about Onama's performance, but you can't take anything away. Dude, Steve Garcia has been running through these hoes.
Yeah.
He's punting heads into the cheap seats every fucking time he gets in there, except for Cater. And Cater's really durable, So, he had a great performance. Radke had a great performance. Suk-Hyun Ko is looking like a phenomenal young fighter here. And nobody's talking about it because Bulgarian's a scumbag and because the commission has no idea what they're doing. And there's a group out there that's supposed to be, monitoring this line movement. And I don't know who they're affiliated with. Is it another governmental organization? Because why would you have another governmental organization just regulating another governmental organization, which is what the Nevada Boxing Commission is? So like, I don't know what these people are doing.
I don't know, man.
We're doing more on Twitter.
Right?
People like you and me and the other people who are breaking this shit on Twitter, we're doing more than the UFC is, than the commission is, than anybody else that's supposed to give a shit about this. The silence from these people is deafening, Brady. Have you heard Dana White say word one about this yet?
No.
It's a big black stain on the sport that he's the president of, and I haven't heard a fucking word from him. You know, the group that's supposed to be watching the commissions and watching these suspicious line movements. Well, where the fuck are they? Lucas Almeida just fought with a broken hand. We've had 4 fights that were stopped that got started back up again. One of them was started again for no reason whatsoever. That when Murgliata started up the fucking Nelson Malik fight or whatever, whoever Nelson, whoever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, dude. You know, like who are these people? What are they doing? You know, why do we have to do this? I'm not a fucking journalist. Are you?
No.
I write up fights. I do videos for people. I keep MMA stats. Why is this on us?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like it can't keep happening. I mean, you can't keep stopping fights and then restarting them. I mean, I don't know. It's like you literally can't do that, and it's happened 5 times.
Like that should happen once, and they should make an example out of the person that did it, and be like, you know, an adrenaline dump is something that these guys are well aware of. Most of these referees are black belts that have fought in the past. They know what happens when you tell them you won. And then you give them a stool and you let them celebrate with their corner. And then you tell them, no, get back out there and fight. They know what that does.
Yeah.
And the person who lost the fight, if you think that doesn't help them, it's like when somebody's on top of you beating your ass, right? And you finally get the reverse with 15 seconds left in the round. Guess what's going to happen now? You're not only are you on top, but you're pissed off. So you start dropping those B's on them, Brady. You make it count while you're there. You know, I mean, like, why wouldn't you do that in a fight then?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like it's just ridiculous. So I mean, I don't know, man. It's I'd say it has me at a loss for words, but I just keep running my mouth. I'm pissed off about it.
I mean, there's a ton to say. We could do like a 10-hour marathon about it, to be honest. I mean, there's so much to say. I was scrolling through Twitter and shout out to Sean Orr. He says, I'd bet large sums of money that he was one of the fight fixers. And I agree. Daniel Zellhuber.
Zellhuber, yeah.
Threw 0 punches in his fight against Michael Johnson. 0 punches thrown over the course of 15 minutes.
He only threw kicks, right?
Only kicks. Only kicks.
No. Yeah, you know, and somebody else mentioned Montel Jackson.
Yeah, he looked rough too.
Against Figueiredo, like he did nothing out there. You know, I mean, it was just wild. Where I remember saying on Stat Diggers, I was like, man, you know, like I almost got to a big Montel Jackson bet. And I was like, if I would have put my damn head in the oven. I would have been screaming, what are you doing? What are you waiting for?
Yeah, I mean, who's this group, man, that's paying people to fix fights?
Well, let's not pretend that we can't find out now.
Yeah, I mean,
an FBI agent over to fucking Vince Morales' house. I mean, I saved the fucking thing for a reason, right?
Yeah.
I know what he was saying there. I knew how important that was. I fucking immediately screenshotted that thing. We were making a delicious dinner over here. My girlfriend says, hey, shred some Parmesan for me. I says, hell no. I need to go screenshot something that I just saw on Twitter. I'll be back, and I will shred that Parmesan because I like a little Parmesan on my pasta. It's delicious, you know, but fucking priorities, Brady. And I'm glad I did because immediately he fucking took that tweet down, and of course he did.
Of course. Yeah, I'm curious to see what other fighters come out and say that they've been approached. 3 fighters thus far that we know of, but I have a feeling it's a lot more than that. So Morales, where does Morales train? In Vegas, right?
So I thought he was a Texas. No, he's originally from Idaho, but yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I think he might be one of the Colorado guys.
What about Vanessa? Vanessa's in Vegas.
Vanessa's all over California, Nevada, and Arizona. She's done a little training at Fight Ready. She's done a little training at Black House. She's done some training in Vegas at those camps as well. So she's kind of bounced around the West Coast there.
And then Venata. Where's Venata?
I'm not sure where Venata trained.
Oh, Morales is Syndicate. Vegas.
Okay, Vegas.
Might be a Vegas thing, man. I mean, I feel like it might be a Vegas thing.
Yeah. Who knew the mob existed in Vegas, Brady?
Not me.
I mean, who knew, right? Crazy, man.
Yeah. Jeez. All right. Well, let's get to some comments. And like I say, I know everybody's here to break down some fights, but to be honest, I don't know about this week, man. Back in the Apex, I don't know. We got Dixon. Congratulations, Brady and Weezy, on being featured on the Era Hawani show today during the Isaac Dulgarian segment. Appreciate you, Dixon. Yeah, shout out to Connor. Connor put our tweets up there. That was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, you know that if it wasn't Connor, that Ariel wasn't shouting out you or I.
Yeah, shout out to Connor. I think he's watched the show in the past, so shout out to him.
Yeah.
We got White. I thought it said White Cocky for a second. White Chalky saying, if I was a betting man, I'd bet Dulgarian ends up the number one pick for who needs some help. Just a funny feeling. Oh yeah, I did do a poll for this show. So I did 4 names, and the results may be shocking. I put Isaac Dulgarian up there. I put David Onama up there. I put Phil Rowe up there. And I put, of course, our guy, Cedricus Dumas up there. So make sure you guys vote to see who needs to get some help. We got Bub Collins with the $4.99 saying, Uncle Weezy, this sport we love is taking a turn for the worst. Brady voice. We need some happiness. Can we get a story of one of your happiest days?
All right, real quick. I once, when I was in college, Brady, we were all broke. And one of the times that you could get money was at the end of the semester when you sold your books back to the bookstore, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to school at Northern Illinois. The weather was shit there, dude. DeKalb, Illinois, you're in the middle of the cornfields. It's really windy. It's really cold. And like that spring semester, you know, it's just cold all year. And right up until like finals, you finally start to get some nice weather. So I remember one of the guys in my house got a bunch of mushrooms, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a gorgeous day outside, gorgeous day. And a lot of us were done with finals already. So I remember going and selling my books so that I could buy mushrooms. And I didn't get shit for my books, dude. I remember bitching about it. Like I didn't tell the guy at the bookstore that I needed more to be able to get the proper amount of mushrooms to get off. But I got enough. And then I went to my buddy and he's like, oh, I'll just give you some, you know, like if you sold your books for mushrooms, that's baller, you know? And I remember eating those mushrooms and it being just an absolutely gorgeous day outside. We had a beach volleyball court in our backyard. You know, people were out there hacking. We had basketball. We had horseshoes. And I remember just a beautiful day in DeKalb, Illinois, which was a rare thing. School was pretty much over. The stress was over from school. And I sold my books to have mushrooms and have a phenomenal day outside. And I mean, I'm sure there was some crazy shit that happened that day. But I'm not remembering any of the actual crazy shit. But I just remember selling my books for mushrooms and having a great day as a result of it.
Sounds like a fun day.
It was great. It was great. I just remember everybody was in the backyard. Because when you get so few good days, when there is a nice one, everybody appreciates it.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody's out making the most of it. And I just remember having an amazing time that day. There
you go. Shout out to Bub Collins.
Guy Bub.
Shout out to Chandril Mo. He says, with the 199, he says, you're great, bro. Can you say Josh loves you, Ravenna? All right, here we go. Josh loves you, Ravenna. There we go. Shout out to Chandril. We got Jeff with the $5 dono saying, in Rose versus Esparza 2, Carla scheduled her wedding 7 days after the fight. I don't know about Fix, but how she knew she wouldn't take any damage. I don't know. You start to question these things, man.
Mm-hmm.
Start to question these things after all the stuff that's coming out. 100%. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to know what's real and what's not anymore.
Yeah.
It's a scary feeling. It truly is a very scary feeling. How's it feel to be a bona fide niche micro celebrity? Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
And by the way, if you guys have not seen the Helwani show today, I'd go watch it. He dropped a lot of huge just information, and we know Helwani has a ton of connections in the MMA community. We got Elijah in the building. We got UFC Garrison saying, you guys, Dalgarian was just a victim of the Mafia's doings. He didn't independently have a big enough way to do this. The Mafia targets these fighters, and some fighters choose to accept for Isaac. He has a family and an expiring contract. And yeah, I feel like something like that definitely did happen.
Yeah, it's hard to know. It's hard to know, but I think we might find out at some point.
Cody Brund, yeah, there's been some weird Brundage. I mean, the Dumas fight was a little weird, Cody. You know, the SD Dumas fight where he laid on his back and threw 3 strikes, a little weird.
Yeah, and the Mansour Abdul Malik fight was weird.
We're taking a hard look at you, Cody. We're taking a hard look at you, buddy. We got B1C Love. I love Brady. Appreciate that, man. Dr. Peener is a lawyer. There we go. We should get Dr. Peener in there. We got Just Win Baby saying, I'm starting a GoFundMe for Dalgarian. So Just Win Baby's been cashing in all this nonsense. He's doing the smart thing. He's taking Yadier round 1. He's taking Michael Aswell round 1. He's doing the smart thing. You know, just follow the rigness. Just follow it up.
Yep.
Count your money. Duncan Tooley. Yeah, Duncan Tooley is a good fight. Absolutely. Vince Morales was offered $70,000 to throw a fight, and he refused to participate. And also, Devesta Demopoulos is admitting publicly that she has been approached to throw fights as well, and she also said no. $70K is a lot of money, especially for fighters who aren't making a ton.
If you're making 12 and 12, think about it, right?
Do the math.
If you make 12 and 12 and have an amazing performance and get a $50,000 bonus, you made $74,000. So if somebody's offering you $70K, and you hear everybody, all these young fighters who get their first bonus, what do they all say, Brady? This was life-changing money.
Yeah.
You think you offer some kid from the favela $70K, and he's not going to seriously consider it?
Yeah. Just ask Jalton. Jalton took his $70K in that Lewis fight.
That was amazing. That fight going 25 minutes was the least likely thing that I think ever happened in my betting career. And I just remember the books wanting no part of it.
Why the hell didn't they disclose this when it happened? And they're all saying it now because of Dalgarian. Otherwise, they would have never said anything. True. That's so effed up that we would have never found out. Yeah, I mean, once this Dalgarian thing happened, a lot of stuff is starting to kind of pop out in the open for us. The fights Murgliata refed on the recent Canada card was not fight fixing. Dan Murgliata is just retarded and has been for a long time. That's fair. That's a fair point. I'm worried.
It is a great defense in court. If you go in there and you're provably stupid, the judge is going to be like, I believe him, Like,
yeah, that's fair. No argument there. I'm worried that Michel Ferreira is going to have his yacht repoed now. I mean, yeah, he threw the fight against Abus, and then you get knocked out in 60 seconds by Kyle Dawkins. Michel, do you really expect us to believe that? A guy in Pereira who'd never been knocked down in the UFC gets knocked out cold by the Darce Knight? Really?
0 knockouts in his career, right?
Yeah, what? You expect us to believe that? Make it more believable, Michelle. Michelle training in Vegas as well. Michelle definitely got approached, right? I don't know. Here's a new one. A fighter could have some friends bet as DQ, then go kick a dude 3 times straight in the nuts. Yeah, we could see it. Bet US refunded the Dalgarian moneyline bet. Yeah, a couple books did.
Caesars did. William Hill. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'll just check my Bet US account, and it was refunded as well. Amazing. Good. Absolutely. Come for the corruption discussion. Stay for the feet ratings. Yeah, maybe we'll talk about some. I know we're not talking about Jax McVey's feet. That's for sure. We got Lupech in the building. Good to see Luke back in here saying Zonovan Knight stinks. And I mean, he's doing good. He just can't get in the end zone. I mean, he got robbed of a touchdown, but he's looking decent. But I'd like him to score. No, we were not late. We're never late. Ever. Yep, your clock might just be. They had a time change recently. Your clock just might be a little bit wrong.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's up, Cole? Good to see you in here. 365 still ain't paying up for my 3 parlays with Dolgarian effing me over and Nick Bag scums. Yeah, some books won't. I mean, some books will, some books won't. Dolgarian's wife was defending Dolgarian in his Instagram comments, implying that he was injured. I don't know why she would even talk about it and potentially incriminate him more. That's weird.
Yeah, I evidently Isaac didn't have the discussion with his wife that we don't say anything.
Yeah, I mean, even Isaac turned off his comments on a lot of his posts.
I mean, what could she possibly be thinking? Do you even think that he would tell her?
Right?
What is she, mental?
Might be a little mental, yeah. That's weird. That's really weird to me.
Yeah, because I'll tell you something. If I was going to go fix a fight, the first thing I'd do is I'd go tell my wife.
Right? Right. I wouldn't tell anybody. You keep that to yourself. Pipe it up. Agreed. Isaac needed to fight the hands more. Does he have any wrestling? I don't think he does. I think he's I think it was the first time he's ever gotten into a wrestling grappling exchange by the looks of it. Crazy. DC was highly criticizing him. So was Michael Chiesa. Dan Mergliot and his goons mugged me. I bet he does have some goons. As speculated on Stat Tickers for the past, we've been calling it out. We've been calling it out the past year and a half, right? We've been saying stakeout and the steakhouse bets. Just weird situations. Just my baby said, once I offered Scott Holtzman $5,000 to throw his Guida retirement fight, and he considered it. Shout out to Scott Hot Sauce Holtzman. I know who probably threw a fight as well. Nico Price against Robbie Lawler.
Yeah, Grant Dawson against
Bobby Green.
Yep.
All these fights are fixed, man. It's crazy. It's great. Yeah, the last 2 months, man. I mean, I can't handle it. It keeps getting worse and worse. I can't. I literally can't handle it. Any fights getting stopped and restarted. Luckily I didn't have any money on that that D'Elia fight, man. I don't know if I'd be here right now. So shout out to Weezy for even being here. If I had money on that fight, I probably wouldn't be on here right now talking with you guys. I'd be dead.
Dude, I'm just numb to it now.
Yeah.
I remember the first thing, when they started the fight up, I was just like, there's no way you're going to lose 4 units on this fight now that they're not calling it and then he gets dropped immediately and the fight's over. I go, yep, I am going to lose 4 units on. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So this week they're going to try and stop the shenanigans, and then it's back to business as usual. Yeah, I feel like for sure for the next couple weeks, next couple months even, there will be a very limited amount of shenanigans going forward, which is good. But yeah, hopefully something's done about it. Yeah, and that's what you start thinking, man. You just think back to past fights and past scenarios. Like how many times have I got screwed because of this? It's probably a lot. It's probably a lot more than people think. Yep, Lando and Vanessa. Jason House's House of Cards is falling. Yeah.
People are saying his name a lot here. I'm hearing the name Jason House a lot on Twitter right now.
Yeah, he's Dolgarian's manager, and he manages a bunch of fighters, right?
Yep.
And we got City Boy reposted the stream. If you guys are watching on X, be sure to repost the stream for us. We had a record amount of people in our recap show, our first ever recap show, Weezy. We had over 1,000 people watching on Saturday. That was wild.
Yeah, I mean, when something like that happens, it's amazing. It's amazing, like how the cartoonish corruption that was just available for anybody with eyes to see on Saturday. They did it out in the wide open, shamelessly.
Yeah.
And they've got a fucking serious, and it was the first thing that I tweeted. I was like, they got a really bad integrity problem right now, man. Really bad. And they're going to pretend like it's all Dolgarian's fault, but that's one of probably 75 different fights this year that I could call out for just being like completely weird outcomes that if we looked at the betting patterns, we'd probably find, wherever there was smoke, I'm sure we'd find some fire.
Yeah, 100%. We got Vanilla Gorilla. Who's that? Jason Witt, right? Saying Brady and Wheezy, I actually have an iron chin. James Krause paid me to look knocked out. He did train with Krause, I think, Jason Witt.
Hell yeah, man. Grant Dawson did too.
Yeah. Bulgarian on the never bet. Well, you're never going to have to worry about betting on him or against him again because his career is over.
Yeah.
Over. Never again. Let's see here. All this scrutiny has to me in the next few events are kosher. What is kosher?
Kosher. It's a Jewish word for meaning like something that's allowed. Like, that's kosher, that's okay. Like they differentiate between kosher foods and non-kosher foods. If it's non-kosher, they can't eat it. If it's kosher, they can eat it. So yeah, all this scrutiny, it is basically saying that because of this, because smart criminals lay low when the heat is high, hopefully the criminal activity for these next few weeks will be limited. And we'll see if people start putting up big numbers in the betting community here because like the tape study and research actually leads you to being right instead of trapped.
Yeah. FBI. It looked like you threw that fight. Did you? Fighter? No. Case closed.
And the FBI couldn't catch a cold, Brady. Those guys could fuck up a cup of coffee.
I just want to say congratulations, Bulgarian, for being cheeks. How much did Jason Witt get paid to get knocked out by that bum Josh Quinlan? Hashtag look into it. Yeah, getting knocked out by Josh Quinlan's not good. We got Isaac Bulgarian in the building saying round one props cash boy. Shout out to Isaac. You cashed it, buddy. You cashed it. Wheezy, they're going to investigate all steakhouse bets as they should. Cody Brundage is a Iridium guy.
Yep.
Investigate Gilton versus Lewis. Yes.
Yeah.
Investigate it. Can't wait to find out who Mansour's management is. I don't know, man. For sure, Isaac dragged his last fight past remember the under 1.5 in the Bulgarian Murat fight was like minus 300?
Yeah, and he was minus 2,000 in that fight.
Yeah, just so happened
Bulgarian found a way to get paid, didn't he?
Yeah, just so happened to finish him after the 1.5 round mark.
He sure did.
Move fighter. Herzog's on the hot seat, it looks like. Herb Dean is definitely in this game. Everybody is. Man. Apparently everybody is, man. One fight that looks very suspect. Yes. Yep. Is the Feely Costa fight. Remember when Feely got out of the guillotine and then put himself right back into the guillotine?
Yes, I do remember that.
It looked like he helped Costa choke him out. It was hilarious.
Yeah, Armin didn't look that tight. Like it was yeah. Yeah, didn't look good.
We got, is that Jason Herzog in the building? What is up, Herzog? Good to see you. He tried to change his name. You can only change it like every 30 days, no? Or I don't know. I mean, yeah, that was very, very suspect.
Yeah.
Very suspect. With all the scrutiny, can we assume the fights this weekend will be legit? I think they will be. I mean, they got to be. I mean, they're not dumb. I mean, they're dumb, but they're not dumb, right? They're not going to go out there and fix a fight this weekend when everybody's watching and watching very closely. Lawler, yep, Lawler Price, Feely 100% corrupt, guaranteed. You know who else? Ricardo Ramos. That guy has some questionable performances here and there.
Yeah, I remember cashing on him against Josh Kulabau, and he fought about the dumbest game plan you could fight. And like he lucked his way into a takedown in round 1, and he lucked his way into a takedown in round 3 and barely won the fight. And I was just screaming wrestle the whole time at him, and he just wasn't wrestling. It was crazy.
Yep. Jared Gordon got hit by a car. There you go. Patty Pimblett. I called that one a fixed fight. Remember when Bobby Green, for no reason, shot in for a takedown for no reason, and then at the next press conference, his next fight, he showed up with wads and wads of cash, just putting it right in our face. Yeah, that was a fixed fight. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Hood Wolf. Yeah, shout out to Hood Wolf. Looks like he might have got a new contract. Marcus Buchecha. Oh, that Dumas fight was sketchy too. As soon as it wasn't even a choke, they called it. I think they called it a guillotine or something, or what they call that choke.
It was a Dumas choke.
The Dumas
That's what
choke.
we're calling it, man.
Because it wasn't a real choke. Like they called it a guillotine. I don't know. It wasn't even under the neck. It was just horrible, terrible. But they love themselves some Dumas.
Yeah.
Speaking of Dumas, we got the Hood Wolf in the building. I'll always provide you with entertainment in return for yours. Love you guys. We love you as well, Dumas. And shout out to you. You put on a fun fight. You know, those grounded rolling thunders.
Yeah.
The premature tap. I mean, your fight had it all.
It really did. You know, DC laughing at him, going, "Oh my God, is he going to tap?" That was so great.
He's about to tap. Oh, okay. There was one person on Del Valle on a Wednesday. There you go. There you go. You need to add the milking of the week and piping of the week and the other rigging of the week. Yeah, we might need to. Kyle Nelson fight was definitely effed up. Yeah, I mean, that still freaking haunts me. I still can't believe that. Yeah. Can't believe that. He's the promoter. These governing agencies need help.
I think you might be talking about Dana, and yeah, and I agree with that. It's the commission that pisses me off.
Yeah,
because like they're breaking their own rules. You know, I mean, like when you break your own rules, what's the point of even having you? You know,
exactly. All these great performances, and no one is talking about what a great performance Elikana had while wearing his shorts backwards. That's impressive. Yeah, I did see that. Apparently, Elikana was wearing his shorts backwards. I don't know how they let him in there like that, but apparently it happened.
Oh God, that's great. You gotta love that.
Yeah, you gotta love it. All right, I'm kind of scrolling through these comments, guys. We have a bunch of comments. Yeah, we're about an hour in. You're right of the Apex. I don't think. I mean, the Apex has nothing to do with it, in my opinion. Like we saw crooked corruptness in Brazil in the big cage. We saw crooked corruptness in Canada in the big cage. You know, put them in a big cage, a small cage. Doesn't matter what size cage. It's like it's still going to happen, and it has happened. No matter what cage it's in, it's not because of the Apex. And I actually like the Apex. I'm one of the few people that like the Apex. Smaller cage. You know, typically more violence. And those Apex cards, they always surprise you, man. You know, people will talk crap about the card, and then they end up being some of the best cards of the year, those Apex cards. So I kind of like the Apex. Oh, God. Cavalcanti at Syndicate. Not good, man. She's a big favorite. Bueno. Silva by sub, I heard it's paying real good.
Plus 600. But Myra will snap your arm in half. So yeah. I don't know if you want to. I don't know how believable you want to make it look against Myra, man. And you'll go to the hospital, you know.
There you go. All right. Yeah, you guys made it on Ari Hawani's show today. You guys caught the fixed fight before it happened. Shout out to Uncle Weezy and Brady. Yeah, a couple people did. A couple people definitely caught it. Let's see here. Bulgarian was in a new deal. He had signed in August. Wow. This was the first fight of the contract. Wow. So apparently he got a new deal. And they cut him. Without him fighting out those last couple fights. Okay. It's very interesting. Onama needs to be investigated. That whole team was in a Bank Roberto movie that night and cashed out. Yeah, there were a couple sketchy moments for sure. Let's see here. Onama needs to be investigated. Dead ass. Got Kimberly, hit the like button, help these two out. Yeah, if you guys have not hit the like button, be sure to do so. We did our show on Saturday. We got over 100 likes during the show, the recap show.
Yeah.
How awesome was that?
Yeah, over 1,000 people. Incredible.
It's crazy. Phil Rowe definitely didn't fix his fight. Yeah, Phil Rowe might just stink, man. Phil Rowe might just stink a little bit.
Oh God, man! I'll tell you, man. I had Phil Rowe money line. I had Phil Rowe by KO, and I was saying like, hey, man, he should be all right here because we've never actually seen Ko get any open mat takedowns, right? Like he's been getting them from his judo throws and stuff. And I go, if Rowe just doesn't, if he stays in the middle of the cage, he should be fine in stopping these open mat takedowns, dude. Ko got every open mat takedown that he went for, and it wasn't even close. I remember going in my Discord. I'm like, well, I guess Ko can get open mat takedowns against Rowe.
It was bad. It was bad.
Dude, you made it look so easy, dude. Congratulations to all the Ko bettors. You made a phenomenal sweat-free bet. That was so easy for them.
Yeah, I mean, the most sweat-free bet of all time. Let's see. All right. I think we get into some fights now. What do you say?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. Let's get into some fights. We're going to kick it off with the first fight of the night. We got Jackson McVey going against Robert Valentine. We're going to break down these fights as if they're not fixed. We're gonna do our best. We got Jackson McVey, 26 years old, 6'4" with a 77-inch reach. Robert Valentine, 30 years old, 6'2" with a 79-inch reach. We got McVey 4 years younger. McVey with a 2-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach disadvantage. McVey is 4-1 in his last 5 fights, made his debut against Bruno Ferreira, lost that fight by submission. As far as Robert Valentine, he is 2-3 in his last 5 fights, made his debut against Ryan Loder, lost that fight by TKO in the second round, lost the decision to Torres Finney, and then lost by knockout against Ateba Godier. So yeah, I actually like Robert Valentine, and I'm really glad they're giving him another chance here. I mean, he has had a really rough run in the UFC, but to be honest, 3 pretty tough matchups. I mean, this is really a fight he should get back on track and win. I'm just not sure about Jackson McVey. There's very limited footage of him out there. He's winning fights. He's winning them very early. We saw him take a step up in competition against Bruno Ferreira and looked just god-awful. And, Robert Valentine, he's decent. He's very dangerous wherever the fight goes, really good submission game, has some power on the feet. And I'm just not sure McVey's really at this level. He's big. He is dangerous, has solid knees in the clinch, has a submission game in his own right, but I just think Valentine's a lot better. So I lean Valentine here. Money has been pouring in on Valentine, and I know you're a big fan of both these guys, but for me, it's Valentine or pass, but probably not laying a money line price tag on either of these two. What I kind of like was the under, but the under has also been smashed. So everything's getting smashed. What are your thoughts on this fight?
You know what I like here, Brady?
What?
A pass.
There you go.
Good old-fashioned pass, because we just don't know enough about Jackson McVey. And his performance against Ferreira, I went and I watched it back yesterday. It was actually better than I remember, which is bad because, I remember it being horrible,
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah, but he actually kind of looked patient on the feet. It was just that they got into a scramble, and Jackson was trying to take his back. And Ferreira kind of got him ass over tea kettle, got on top of him. And then when he got on top of him, he just passed to mount. And he just kind of step 1, step 2, step 3, finished with the arm bar. Looked pretty good. But, Jackson actually looked kind of calm in there. He looked composed for a UFC debut. He looked like he was taking his time kind of. But, we've got so much more to learn about this guy. We've never seen him in a second round as a professional. We don't know really how he, outside of what we saw in the Ferreira fight, we don't know how he deals when he gets hit. He's literally taken no damage on the regional scene. He's just running through these dudes. He's got a pretty good front choke series, nice guillotine, nice Darce choke. He's got really good clinch game, and he's 6'4" with a 77-inch reach, and he's a southpaw. So he's got some good tools. But we've got to kind of see him put them together at the UFC level. And then laying juice on Robert Valentine at this level, Brady, that's just something I can't get behind. He just hasn't shown much. I think that there are a couple places where Jackson can look good here. I think if he clinches up with Robert, he's gonna be looking good in the clinch against this guy. And I think if Robert shoots a shit shot, I think Jackson might snatch up his neck. So it's I mean, I guess for me, it might even be dog or pass, but I think pass. I think if I'm being smart, this is a great pass fight because Jackson McVey's entire professional career is 7 fights and 11.8 minutes. We just have so much more to learn about this guy.
Yeah. I actually thought the opposite about the patient. I didn't like the patience. I mean, that's what I thought made McVey dangerous was that aggressiveness, that, pushing his opponents in the clinch and finishing them. But yeah, he was patient. He got his legs kicked off. Didn't really do much. But yeah, I don't know. I think somebody gets finished here. I think instead of laying minus 180 on Valentine, I just lay minus 180 on the under. I think is a better look. Both guys can absolutely be finished. Yeah. Has McVey even been to the second round yet?
Not as a professional, but I think he has fought to decision as an amateur before. And I think that one of those fights where he did go to the decision is available. The conditioning didn't look good, even in the second round of a 3-minute round fight. He looked tired, So, like I said, we just got so much more to learn about him. It's hard to back his money line. Maybe you take him to win in round 1, but Valentine, at least we know what this guy looks like when he's taking damage. The guy didn't even try to shoot a takedown against Gauthier when he was getting nuked. So I think that at least we know that Valentine's probably the more durable fighter. We know what he looks like in the second round, what he looks like in the third round. He's faced the better brand of competition, and he's got some power of his own. So, yeah, he should win this fight, but I don't think he's great. And I think Jackson McVey's got some places where he can be dangerous.
Oh, these round 1 props are horrible. Valentine round 1 plus 210. McVey round 1 plus 400. Yeah, they're all over it. The under is getting smashed, which I think makes sense as well.
Yeah.
McVey needs to change his nickname to Timothy. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. This should be Valentine by sub, but maybe Valentine will purposely break his arm a minute before the walkout and he can cash a gone in 60 seconds ticket. Yeah, those gone in 60-second tickets can definitely hit. We need a probability calculator for how rigged the fight will be. Yeah, we do. Valentine versus McVey looking like a solid 75% chance of shenanigans occurring. Yeah, I could see some shenanigans in this fight. We always be capping for the corruption, but we always worried about the judges and the refs, not the fighters. Guess we're retarded too. I'm worried about it all, man. I'm worried about it all.
Yeah.
McVey looked really bad his last fight. Yeah, he looked after that fight. I'm like, because I had a big bet on McVey against Dumas. I was like, okay, I'm kind of glad that fight got called off. Maybe Dumas even could have beat this guy. What's the chances of one of these two bums is going to rig the fight? I mean, where do these guys train? Are they near Vegas? No. Valentine's from
Jackson McVey's like in Missouri, and Robert Valentine. I think Robert Valentine is in Europe, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, because when I'm thinking about these sketchy fights, man, like a lot of it's from like Extreme Couture type fighters, Syndicate fighters, Factory X fighters, like stuff like in that area. So I think these two are fine. Who can be more easily bought in this spot? Probably McVey. Could be more easily bought if anybody. Watch your DFS fixed video, Brady. Way to stick to the facts, but I want to hear the story. Can't make this stuff up. Yeah, I might have to do a part 2 with all the stuff coming out after I posted it. McVey by first round eye poke that gets rolled a TKO by Gary Copeland. I like it. I dig it. Both these guys absolutely suck. It doesn't deserve to be talked about. Okay, there we go. Battle of the bums. McVey by sub that fixes in. Maybe like an end sub potentially. Combined 0 for 4. Disgusting. Valentine already seeing sharp action. Minus 142 to minus 180 in days. All the books he's shown to be dominant when he gets his spot. Bruno got a spot where Valentine could excel, and it's on the mats.
Yeah.
Miles John's the type of guy to fix a fight. Missouri equals Kraus. Kansas City. I lost 3.5 units because of Bulgarian in the whole Waldo Dalia mess.
Yeah, double that, and that's what I lost.
Just sickening. McVey's been caught. All right. Let's move on to the next fight. And we have, speaking of Miles Johns versus Daniel Marcos. We got Miles Johns, 31 years old, 5'7" with a 66-inch reach. Marcos, 32 years old, 5'7" with a 69-inch reach. Miles Johns 1 year younger, same height, and Marcos with a 3-inch reach advantage. Miles Johns, 2-2 and 1 no contest in his last 5 fights. No contest against Dan Argueta. Decision win against Cody Gibson. Decision win against Douglas Silva de Andrade. Decision loss to Felipe Lima. And a decision loss to Gene Matsumoto. As far as Daniel Marcos, he is 3-1 and 1 no contest in his last 5 fights. Decision win against Davey Grant. No contest against Richie Long. A decision win against John Castaneda. A decision win against Adrian Yanez. And then a decision loss to Montel Jackson. So one thing I want to mention is the line for this fight. This line just recently got added, I believe, yesterday or the day before. But Miles Johns opened up as a massive underdog. And there it is. Miles Johns opened up at plus 250 November 2nd, yesterday, right? Yeah, yesterday. Opened up plus 250 yesterday, and then now he's plus 145. As far as Daniel Marcos, he opened up minus 300, and he's currently minus 170. So this line has closed up a lot since it opened, and yeah, it makes sense. We always talk about Miles Johns and just how defensively sound this guy is. It's really hard to look good against Miles Johns. His fights aren't the most exciting by any means. Like, I actually hate Miles Johns' fights, but very defensively sound. He has a wrestling background that he doesn't really use. He does have some power. He can land some big shots. And I always kind of thought Marcos is just a little bit overrated. I think he's a good fighter, but just a little bit overrated. I kind of feel like this is going to be a close fight. And I feel like the line movement does make some sense here. I believe this fight is a short notice fight.
Yeah, I believe so, because Miles was supposed to fight last week. So I think they found him a short notice replacement because Miles was scheduled to fight. I believe it was Gafarov on last week's card. So because Gafarov had to pull out and Miles wanted to fight, I think Daniel Marcos stepped in and said, let's do it. And I don't know if Daniel lost the fight as well, because sometimes that's how they do it, where Daniel might have had a recent fight that fell out.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, he was supposed to fight Felipe Lima at the end of this month, in November 22nd. So, yeah, Johns was supposed to fight a grappler, big hitter in Gafarov, and now he's getting more of a striker, more of a big leg kicker in Daniel Marcos. So it's an interesting fight. And like you said, it's kind of hard to get out ahead of Miles Johns. He keeps fights close, man. He's very accurate. He's very difficult to hit. He does throw with a lot of power when he does throw, and he will mix in that wrestling from time to time. And whether it's his takedown defense or it's his distance striking defense, he's hard to score on. 83% takedown defense, 70% distance striking defense. Miles has he's got a process that just keeps fights really close. So whenever you're getting a big plus money number on Miles Johns, it's something that you probably should be considering, because when he's performing as an underdog, he's actually 0-3 as an underdog, which is wild, plus 162. But when the market prices Miles as a favorite, he's performed very well. 6 wins and 1 loss with a 42% ROI. But when he's been priced as an underdog, the market's been right about him. He's went 0-3 when priced as an underdog with a 100% ROI. But like, those fights are really close. That Gene Matsumoto fight, he overperformed his price tag. The Lima fight, that was probably one of his more decisive losses, along with the Castaneda fight. But Miles does keep fights very close, whether he wins or loses. So it's hard to lay too much juice against the guy. But Marcos, I do believe, is probably the better fighter. I think we can count on him maybe for a little more offensive wrestling success. And I like his striking more. He throws more volume. He hits harder, I think. And I think he's just got a better diversity of attacks.
Yeah, what if Johns wrestles, though? It's a big what if. It's a big what if.
It is, because he could probably do well with that. But, Marcos has got 85% takedown defense in his own right. And Miles Johns hasn't been accurate with his takedowns, only getting them at a 23% clip. So for a guy like Johns, who does tend to slow down a little bit later on in fights, it might it's risky for him to wrestle too much.
Yeah. What I will say is his cardio has been looking suspiciously good lately.
It has. It's looked a lot better, man.
Yeah, very suspicious. Like that Matsumoto fight was fought at a hellish pace. Like he landed 5 takedowns there. Looked like he could have won another 15 minutes.
Yeah, I know. And I bet on Matsumoto there, and I was like, oh, fucking Johns has got cardio now, huh?
Yeah.
But we'll
Weird.
see, man. We'll see if it lasts. But Johns is another one of those guys from that little area. You know who his coach is Trey Ogden.
Oh,
You know where Trey used to train.
yeah.
Glory
Mhm.
MMA and Fitness under one James Krause. And yeah, James Krause's stain is on this too. So interesting stuff, man. But Jess Wynn Baby brought up multiple John's weight cuts, and he was already cutting weight for the Gafarov fight when that got called off. So yeah, that's something we also have to consider.
Yeah. So yeah, John's opened up plus 250, currently plus 145. Marcos opened up minus 300, currently minus 170. The over is juiced to the tits, minus 300. The under is plus 245, and that makes sense to me. I'd be kind of surprised if we got a finish here.
Great.
Shock parlay at the Apex, no shenanigans for a couple weeks. I hope you're right, man, but I don't know. These last 5 weeks, 6 weeks have been crazy. I mean, his nickname is Chapo. I'm pretty sure he's involved with the Mexican mafia, potentially. Missouri almost as suspect as Vegas, if not more. Miles Johns by sketchy line movement.
Oh no.
Oh, by the way, we got to see who needs help. Completely forgot.
Yeah.
All right. With 181 votes, we're about to find out to see who needs help. And I think it might be the most unanimous who needs to get help poll ever. So believe it or not, the guy who laid on his back for 15 minutes, Phil the Fresh Prince Rowe, only 7% of people think he needs. That's how you know it's bad.
I know.
If Phil Rowe's only getting...
Because Phil Rowe needs help.
Oh, God, does he?
He really needs help.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. 7%.
Dude, he
And
made a
third-
Korean look like Jordan Burroughs out there, Brady.
It was bad, man. Third place, believe it or not, the guy that invented the grounded rolling thunder, first one in UFC history, went 1 for 2 on it. Cedricus Dumas, I believe he just signed a new contract potentially. 10%. A guy that tapped to a submission that wasn't even a real submission. The Dumas choke. Only 10% of people saying Cedricus Dumas. Wild.
Hey,
Second,
I mean, he needs help.
Yeah, he does. But apparently somebody needs more help than him. We'll see who. Second place, a guy that got the biggest opportunity of his career. Main event spot. And threw and landed only 2 punches. Shout out to David Onama. Only 10% of people. David Onama. And then first place, Isaac Dalgarian with 73%. And he was on a list with a bunch of killers this week. I mean, this list, 73% on this list is crazy.
Yeah, man. You know, like it's like standing out in the 1984 NFL quarterback class that had just all those studs. You know, like this is one where, you know, you got to be like, wow. You know, you get last play, like Phil Rowe needs help, but he only got 7%.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Marcos by split majority decision. And Marcos been in a couple close fights too, like that Davey Grant fight. Really close. I thought he lost that fight. The Yanez fight, very close fight. So, yeah, he's been in a couple close fights in his own right. Vince, Lil Monster, Vince Morales, Dalgarian. I have a feeling the Mafia targets UFC fighters whose contracts are expiring. Hard to believe Dante Johnson would be in on something for a debut, but Dumas, I don't know. Dumas needed some money, man. I don't know. No, I think Dumas, I don't know. It was weird, but I kind of think Dumas just really, really stinks. Carl Williams, another guy that, remember when Carl Williams forgot how to wrestle?
Well, I do remember Carl coming out after the fight and saying that, I think it was Mick Maynard or Sean Shelby told him, you know, your fights would be a lot more exciting and watchable, and we'd be a lot more likely to sign you if you didn't wrestle as much. Right before his fight with Jonata, and he lost that fight by decision. Got a takedown late in the third round and just wailed on Jonata for the last 2 minutes after almost getting knocked out in the third round by Jonata, and it was just like, wow, he could have done that whenever.
Yeah, look what Mario Pinto did to Jonata Denise.
I know.
Like,
I didn't even know Mario could wrestle.
Yeah, crazy. Can't even look at the sport the same man, tainted ass view. Yeah. The poll might have been fake. Might have got paid. Might have got paid behind the scenes. You never know.
We got the call there, and we rigged it.
Yeah, we might have. I gave Dumas 3 Xannies and a Big Mac to throw. Who needs help pull? And I profited 8x betting on Bulgarian. There you go.
It's work.
Cavalcanti decision. There you go. He didn't look like the Korean Tyson, that's for sure. Yeah, he didn't. All right. Dumas was celebrating that paycheck with the air guitar walkout. That was hilarious. That was one of the best walkouts of all time. That air guitar. He was going crazy with it. Yeah, he's having fun, man. He's having a lot of fun. A question for Brady and Wheezy. So did Alexander Romanov throw all the fights he quit in by faking nut shots? Did Alexander Romanov throw? I don't think he threw a fight, did he?
No, man. He just quit by those nut shots. Like he quit against Juan Espino with a nut shot. He quit in PFL because of a nut shot. Yeah, it's happened a couple of times with him.
Yeah, it did. What about when he gave up the choke that Jalton Almeida, just lifted his neck and gave it to him? That was sketchy.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the next fight, we got Tisha Pennington going against Denise Gomes. We got Pennington, 36 years old, 5'1" with a 60-inch reach. Gomes, 25 years old, 5'2" with a 63-inch reach. Gomes, 11 years younger, 1-inch height advantage and a 3-inch reach advantage. Pennington is 3-2 in her last 5 fights. Decision win against Angela Hill. Decision loss to Mackenzie Dern. Decision loss to Tabitha Ricci. Decision win against Carla Esparza. And then a decision win against Luana Pinheiro. As far as Denise Gomes, she has 4-1 in her last 5 fights. A knockout win against Yasmin Haregi. Decision loss to Angela Hill. Decision win against Eduardo Mara. Decision win against Karolina Kovacevic. And then a knockout win against poor Elise. Remember that fight where poor Elise Reed just got destroyed and Herzog was reffing it and kept telling her to move when she was dead. So bad.
And Denise Gomes is terrifying.
I know. And
Herzog
Herzog
as a referee, like the first thing going through your mind in any Denise Gomes fight that you're assigned to is like, I need to protect Denise's opponent.
Bulgarian's wife said she knew a little bit about what's going on. Why would his wife say there's no way?
Tell Bulgarian tell his wife to keep her mouth shut. Loose lips sink ships, man. Like you.
Why is she DMing you? There's no way, man. Come on. There's no way. Anyway, I don't know. I mean, Pennington, she's not that old. I mean, they're only 36 years old, still fighting at a decently high level. She's been looking good in her fights. I don't think she's really slowing down, but she's also taken on a much younger fighter in Denise Gomes, who has some grappling upside, who hits like a truck for the division. I think you got to lean Gomes, but not sure I want to lay -185 on her. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you want to back, right? Do you want the youth, the physicality, and the power of Gomes, or do you want the experience, the amazing strength of schedule, and frankly, the really good performances that have been recently going through Tisha Pennington? She beats Angela Hill. She arguably beats Mackenzie Dern, who's the current champion. Arguably beats Tabitha Ricci. Then she goes out there and arguably loses to Carla Esparza, but wins that fight. And then Luana Pinheiro, she goes out there and wins that fight by unanimous decision. She could be 5-0 in her last 5 fights. She's fought the way better brand of competition. The only common opponent that Gomes and Pennington have is Angie Hill. And Angela Hill beat Denise Gomes, but Tisha Pennington's got 2 wins over Angela Hill. One of them old, one of them fairly recent. But yeah, I mean, like, I think that just because Gomes is the fighter who's 10 years younger, just because she is a little bit more physical, and Tisha is lacking a little bit of size for the division, being only 5'1" with a 60-inch reach. So I think Denise might be able to win the clinch exchanges here. I think she might be more likely to land the bigger shots at distance striking range. It just depends if Tisha can have any grappling success, because we've seen Gomes give up a lot of minutes on the ground in certain fights. So maybe Tisha can find some takedowns, but I think this is going to be a very close fight. I think that this is actually a pretty sizable step up in competition if you consider that Gomes lost to Angie Hill and then stepped down and fought ladies like Mora a 39-year-old Karolina Kowalkiewicz, Elise Reed. Now she's stepping up to somebody in Tisha Pennington, that's been in there against champions in a lot of her fights. So, or ladies that have fought for the championship. So, yeah, I think that Tisha should be able to keep this pretty close here and make this a very competitive fight. So, I don't think I'd want to be laying juice on Denise Gomes here, even though she is a lot younger and a lot more physical and probably brings a lot more power into this matchup.
Yep. I lean Gomes ever so slightly. I think the line's a little too wide, though.
Agreed.
Yeah. So I think Tisha can definitely make it closer than the line does indicate. Gomes opened at -200, currently -185. Torres opened at +170, currently +160. The over is not as juicy as I thought it would be. The over is only -300. Wait, the wrong fight. The over is -350. Okay, my over's -350, which still, not bad. Torres, I don't think has ever been finished, has she?
Nope, never. She's been in there against everybody.
And Torres finishes nobody ever besides Elise Reed.
Yeah, and even Mackenzie Dern had her in a couple of deep submissions that she couldn't. She wasn't tapping to that shit either. So it's not like Denise is going to sub her, but Denise does hit hard, man.
She does.
If she lands clean, she could potentially knock out Tisha. So that's on the table, I think, with Denise Gomes in this division. But yeah, I think it's going to play out real close too, dude.
Yeah, I kind of like that over as a parlay piece because Padilla has fought some hard hitters before, like Andrade hits pretty hard. Even Dern hits kind of hard. Zhang Weili hits hard. A couple hard hitters in there.
Yeah, she's had tough fights, man.
Yeah, she's had some tough fights. All right, what are you guys liking in the chat here? Out on a stretcher, who? Oh yeah, the Roman fight. Dumas is too low IQ. Yeah, I think Dumas is too low IQ to pull off a rigging type fight. Doug Aaron's wife. Send them to Brady on X. Yeah, send them over. Women stay yapping. You're telling me, man. You're telling me. So the Tisha +3.5 Wheezy is guess
-250.
Wow, great guess. -260.
Yeah, figured it's got to be juice to the tits.
Just send them. Mark my name. I don't know who you sent them to, man. You didn't send them to me. You didn't send them to me. You might have sent it to the wrong guy. I didn't get no DM.
Oh, well, sometimes you got to check the message request because if you're not following them.
Oh, God. Yeah, it's not showing up there either.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't know. Let's see. There's only losers in Tisha Pennington fights, including the fans. But it's a Gomes fight, so maybe it's going to be exciting. A lot of the fights this week have potential to go to decision, maybe end in split decision. So a lot of people going to be crying corruption after. Yeah, I mean the judges better be on their A game. People are watching closely.
Yeah,
people are watching closely. Rocky dogged Tisha too often. She's moving differently now. Value loser. I kind of agree. Value loser on Pennington. It's kind of how I'm looking at it. Tisha overs are an elite parlay piece. I would tend to agree. Tisha Pennington has 0 knockdowns in the last 16 fights. Most boring.
And she's never been knocked down either.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Got to go with the more. Yeah. In terms of who's more handsome, I mean, it's not even debate. Like, it's not even remotely close. Gomes is a lot more handsome.
And we got to say, because now that this is what the show has become, if you were going to fix this fight, you'd fix it to the under because that's where it pays to fix it.
Do you know how much money? Do you know how much money, Weezy, was on the over in the Waldo D'Elia fight? Everybody was on. Even I was almost on it, and I never bet overs. That's how you know. Like, so much money was on the over. The fight goes to decision.
Yep. I know. Yeah. They needed that under to hit, and what better way than to force an adrenaline dump? It's beautiful. It worked beautifully. I saw the eye poke. I don't know how the guy in the cage didn't see it, but I saw it.
Yeah. I saw it too, man. I saw it too. D'Elia's chin can never hold up to an over. But at the end of the day, Waldo.
How many people's have?
Waldo.
Chase Sherman did.
Yeah, Waldo couldn't cash my KO ticket against 50-year-old Arlovsky, man.
Yeah, dude. I mean, remember when Don'Tale Mays absolutely starched Arlovsky? Don'Tale Mays.
Yeah.
Right? And Waldo was nowhere close to having fucking a 49-year-old Andrei Arlovsky in any trouble in that fight.
Yep. Exactly. What's going on? I tried to look up the wiki feed.
Okay.
Oh. It says I need to go to WikiFeet X because it's too graphic.
What?
I don't know. Maybe it's a new update of the website.
Could be.
I don't know. I guess there's a WikiFeet and then there's a WikiFeet X. I guess the WikiFeet X has like nudity.
Oh, maybe that. Yeah.
I did not know that. Okay.
Or just spicier feet pics.
Yeah, I mean these pictures are definitely spicy.
Okay.
Definitely spicy pics. So WikiFeet X. Didn't they make enough money off the Bulgarian fight? So yeah, I mean people are greedy, man.
Yeah.
People are greedy. Absolutely. Hamdy must have been paid handsomely to not finish Fat Barnett. That's why he got released too. Yeah, he got released right after he won the fight, kind of like Nate Maness, right?
Yeah.
Nate Maness somehow, some way took Jimmy Flick to decision, and then somehow, some way, Chris Barnett lasts 15 minutes in a fight.
Do you remember when they cut Jamal Pogues just because he didn't beat Hamdy?
Yes.
You know, like, and like, even though he did beat him, you know, like the judges said he didn't beat him and they cut him for that.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, yeah, so why wouldn't Hamdy fix the fight?
Yeah. Jeez. All right. Moving on to the next fight. I don't know if I can call this a fight, man. It's Josh Hokit going against Max Jimenez. We got Hokit, 27 years old, 6'1" with a 73-inch reach. Max Jimenez, is he actually? There's no way he's 42.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. He's listed at 32 years of age on both Tapology and SureDog, but actually on UFC stats, I don't know if it's a typo on their part.
Oh, wow.
But they've got him listed at 1983. And just because I use UFC stats as the official stats, that's what I'm using. But I don't think he's 42. I think he's actually 32. But there's a 10-year difference between, obviously, what UFC stats has and what the other sites have.
Yeah, he definitely does not look in his 40s. He looks like a youngish guy. So, I mean, we have a guy making his debut off the Contender Series in Josh Hokit versus a grappler in Max Jimenez. Could not find any tape on Jimenez fighting MMA. Was able to find some grappling fights that were awful. But he has a lot of grappling experience from Jimenez. But it's like the MMA fights he has, although I wasn't able to watch him, he's fighting complete bums. Just like some of the worst competition you'd ever see. So, and I actually think Hokit's decent. Like I think he's one of these guys that tries to. He's like Charles Rack. He tries to piss people off type thing, like a Colby Covington. Yeah, I think a lot of people aren't going to like this guy, but he's decent. You know, the striking, it's coming along. Not the best striker, but his wrestling's really good. Once he does get on top, his ground and pound's pretty good. Has a little bit of a submission game of his own, but that's kind of what makes this fight interesting. Weezy is Josh Hokit in all of his fights. He's wrestling, and he's wrestling pretty quickly, but he's going to be going down to the ground with Jimenez, who is most comfortable down there. But as we know, in grappling, you can't use elbows, you can't use ground and pound, and that's what Hokit's kind of really good at. So they have Hokit as a pretty big favorite. He's like minus 400, which I feel like he could, in hindsight, absolutely look minus 400, but I also could see a world where this could go horribly wrong as well. I mean, this has to be on a card with a lot of passes. This has to be the biggest pass for me personally.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to be confident about this fight because at the UFC level, we should never be taping a fighter that has no available footage of them fighting MMA. How the fuck do you get how do you get a UFC contract when ordinary folks can't even verify that you've been in a fight that's MMA related? I mean, like, Tapology says that they happened, so I think that they happened, you know? But, like, there's no footage of it. I mean, there's no footage of any of these events. This is Shogun Fights. It's a promotion from Maryland. And this guy fights at Ground Control Academy, Max Jimenez. And if I'm not mistaken, isn't that where Tucker Lutz trained?
I don't know. I can check.
Ground Control Academy, Jesse Relentless Stern, James Binky Jones. Yeah, Top Gun Tucker Lutz. So there's a couple of fighters with fights at this gym. Stern is 16-7. James Binky Jones is 16-16. So they've got some fighters at this, and one of the guys that they is coming up there is Max Jimenez. So yeah, grappling background, but I don't know what to say about this fight. I know what I know about Hokit, right? The guy's going to win fights at this level because he's an athlete and because he can wrestle. And when you have two of those things at the heavyweight division, you might wind up being top 10 if you're any good at the other things as well. So I think this guy Hokit played Division 1A football.
Did he?
Yeah. You know what position he played?
Was it defense or offense?
Offense.
Center?
Running back.
What?
He was a fucking running back at Fresno State University, rushed for over 1,000 yards.
Jeez.
In a seat. So like this guy's a phenomenal athlete, Brady.
A 6'1" running back. That's scary.
I know, dude, right?
That's scary.
Dude, a white running back on a Division 1A fucking team, that dude's got athletic ability. I promise you.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got a wrestling background, too. He's got a big fucking mouth. People are either going to love him or they're going to hate him, but they're going to be tuning in to watch this guy fight. So I think that there's a ceiling here, but it's hard to talk about this fight because, there's literally no evidence of Jimenez fighting MMA. So I don't know what to do here.
Yep. There's not. And he's fighting like bums. It's absolute bums. Like, who are some?
I mean, we don't even know how big of bums they are because we can't even see the fights. Does anybody have these fights? That's what I'd like to know. Does anybody have Shogun fights? Because that's the promotion that he was fighting in.
I know I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen any of them. He fought Diego Peklat. He fought John Ott. He fought Cameron Graham, 6-14. He fought Derek Bradley, 1-3.
Oh.
He has a loss against David White, and David White is 2-4 going into that fight. And David Barbarossa White, who retired after that win, is 3-4.
Oh.
Yeah. Harrison Aiken, 0-1, and is now 0-3. But he does have a win over Harrison, the headhunter Aiken, and that's still worth something in this world, Brady. And then I believe his debut was a win over an 0-1 Robert Coleman. So, yeah, it's a Baltimore promotion. This guy fights out of Baltimore, and he's 6-1.
Not a real fight. This fight's so weird. But Hokit's the biggest favorite on the card. Open at -300. Currently -340. So money just came in on Jimenez.
Okay.
Jimenez open at +250. Currently +280. I mean, I guess it's dog or pass, but this guy Jimenez could get smoked with like the very first punch that lands. I mean, this guy's a grappler for all we know.
Yeah. So. These jiu-jitsu guys can't wrestle for shit, Brady.
I mean, some of these jiu-jitsu guys and gals, it's just been bad.
It's so bad. You watch them wrestle and you're like, oh my God, man. Like that shit that white belts are getting chewed out for. And 3 weeks into their training, they're like, oh no, you can't do that. Don't try to fucking do that sacrifice throw. Don't pull that bullshit.
And if you roll for a leg in the heavyweight division, we saw what happened. Remember that was it the Petrovic fight or Pericic?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Dude,
my God, he just
The dude tried to roll for a leg. If you roll for a leg in the heavyweight division, you're getting your face pounded into the canvas. And that's what
it's such a bad idea.
It's so dumb. I mean, it's very dumb in UFC in general, but in the heavyweight division, don't roll for a leg. And this guy might. So probably a first round TKO for Josh Hokit. The over under set at 1.5. The over 1.5 is +130. The under 1.5 is -150. I can't even touch a total. We just don't have any information about Jimenez. Is he durable? Is he not durable? I don't know. We just don't know. So it seems a lot of guesswork, but I would lean under, I suppose.
Well, he did get finished in his only loss, Brady. It was David White, who he's a marauder.
Yeah.
Yeah, knockout 151 in the first round. Now, how did he get knocked out? I have no idea because we can't see the fight. But he has been knocked out once, so maybe he's not very durable.
Yeah. It's a good point. Hokit talks way too much trash to throw or fix a fight. I feel like we can trust he'll go out there and get a finish. We'll see what the finish props are. Maybe a Hokit KO 1-2 could be interesting, but I doubt it's gonna be a good number. Rumor is Hokit is going down in the third in exchange for a Sam's Club membership. Hey, Sam's Club membership. Those are nice to have. So I wouldn't blame them.
Dude, if you're making me throw a UFC fight, you're giving me a Costco membership.
Yeah.
None of that Sam's Club bullshit. I want Costco.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah.
How is there no footage of this guy in the day and age of video and camera phones? I don't know, man. Anyone associated with a James Binky Jones? Hey, put some respect on James Binky Jones, man.
Binky's got some wins, man.
Yeah, shout out to Binky Jones. Fullback Josh Hokit. Was he a fullback for the 49ers?
Yeah, I think he got drafted, dude. I mean, like, he's a good athlete, man. He's a very good athlete. But yeah, I think, I mean, like, you can get drafted. It just doesn't, like a lot of these guys are 7th round picks and they wind up being practice squad players.
Yeah. And yeah, you do got to be very tough to be a fullback. I would not want to be one of those. You got to take a lot of hits.
Yeah, you do.
A lot of CTE with that position.
Yep.
How much money came in on round 1 in the fixed fights? I heard there were 5 suspicious bets that moved the odds. Could Bulgarian have made $1 million? I don't think he made $1 million.
No, he couldn't have, because he wouldn't have been able to get down enough money to make $1 million.
Oh, but somebody probably came up to him and said, "Hey, if you do so and so, we'll give you so and so."
Yeah, he probably might have gotten 6 figures, because Yadier was a plus 200 on the money line. And you could snatch up that round 1 probably plus 850 when people started heating it up. So, and the line didn't move all week too. So, like, you had to know that there were probably some people just taking the other side, just sitting there patiently sitting there on the offer, as we would have called it in the trading days when I was on the floor of the Chicago Stock Exchange. You're just selling on the offer. You're just selling it. The line never moves. You wonder how much the guy has to sell. He just keeps selling. That's what happened with Bulgarian this week.
Yep. $1 million in legal fees. Yeah. Bulgarian and Dumas both having those legal fees. They add up, man.
Yeah, they do.
Yep. If you say CTE, Andre Fiala will appear. No matter what chat you're in, if you say CTE, either Andre Fiala or Jared Vandera will appear in the chat.
CTE and bad cardio. CTE and bad cardio. CTE and bad cardio. And like the Candyman appears.
Yes.
And it's just luckily we're past Halloween. Otherwise, like Andre Fiallo walks out like a zombie behind me right now. Is he in this closet here?
I hope not.
Jesus.
I sure hope not.
That's all I need.
Yeah, David White is a marauder. He is a marauder.
He really is.
Now he's going to have to sell that ass. And there you go. Wheezy's being harsh on the commission. Rightfully so. You don't get a government job by cheating and lying. That's true.
Oh, it's brilliant. I love it.
That is brilliant.
Our guy Barry McCockner in the house. You got to
Shout out Barry. Shout out Barry. All right, next fight. We got Mauro Bueno Silva going against Jacqueline Cavalcanti. We got Mauro Bueno Silva, 34 years old, 5'6" with a 66-inch reach. Cavalcanti, 28 years old, 5'9" with a 70-inch reach. We got Cavalcanti, 6 years younger, 3-inch height advantage and a 4-inch reach advantage. Mauro Bueno Silva, 1-3 and 1 no contest in her last 5 fights. Had a submission win against Lena Landsberg. A submission win got overturned to a no contest against Holly Holm. Decision loss to Raquel Pennington. A knockout loss to Macy Chazon. And then a decision loss against Jasmine Jazz the Vicious. As far as Cavalcanti, 5-0 in her last 5 fights. Decision win against Melissa Croden. Decision win against Zara Farron. Decision win against Estela Nunez. Decision win against Nora Cornhole. And a decision win against Julia Avila. So another fight I just don't have a ton of interest in. Like, I've been very underwhelmed with Cavalcanti. That Nunez fight, I thought she clearly won, but, a judge actually scored the fight for Nunez. Same thing with Cornhole. I thought she clearly won the Cornhole fight. One of the judges scored it for Cornhole. She's going to close fights. She's going to split decisions. And she's going against Mauro Bueno Silva, who I don't know how to feel about Mauro Bueno Silva. I mean, she looked awful in the Jasmine fight, which against Jasmine, there's no shame in that, getting taken down and controlled. But I'm talking about on the feet. On the feet, she made Jasmine Jazz the Vicious look like Mike Tyson out there. I mean, Jasmine was just landing on her, getting the better of the striking exchanges. Just a very horrible look. She doesn't wrestle. She's a very good grappler that doesn't wrestle. And if she stays on the feet at range, like, she's going to get picked apart. But if this fight hits the ground, whether she's on top or bottom, that's kind of where she's going to have success. It's just relying on Bueno Silva to get the fight down to the mat is it's a tough thing to do. It's a tough thing to rely on her to get the fight where she needs it. And I think she needs it on the mat here. So I don't know. Cavalcanti's a pretty big favorite. I feel like Silva's a live dog, but it also could be a scream at your TV type moment if she gets jabbed up for 15 minutes.
Yeah, on Silva's side, she's obviously got UFC experience and strength of schedule advantages big time over Cavalcanti. You look at those names on the recent resume for Jackie. It's Julia Avila, who's terrible. Cornhole. You got the ghost of Joe Benavidez cosplaying as a woman named Josiane Nunez. Zara Farn, Brady. These are bad, these are wins that just nobody really cares about. While Mayra Bueno Silva's last 4 fights have been against Holly Holm, who she ran through, Raquel Pennington, Macy Chason, Jasmine Jazz Davicius. Silva's been scheduled for 5-round main events in 2 of her last 5 fights. And she's by far the more dangerous submission grappler compared to Cavalcanti. Myra's 7-0 to the submission as a professional, and she's finished 4 of her 5 UFC wins by submission, while Cavalcanti's 0-0 to the submission. She's never won by submission or never lost by submission. So it's going to be about this fight and where it takes place, right? Because Jackie spends about 88% of her UFC octagon time at distance striking range, where she has a positive 2.8 distance striking differential, over 71% distance striking defense, while Mayra Bueno Silva, while fights are at range, has a negative 1.6 distance striking differential and 59% distance striking defense. So, Jackie wants to keep this fight standing. Mayra wants this fight either in the clinch and on the mat, and it's going to come down to whichever fighter is able to kind of dictate the pace and the location of this fight. So if Cavalcanti's successful in doing that, she's probably going to keep this fight standing and win the minutes on the feet. If Mayra Bueno Silva is going to have success, she's going to need to close distance, get this fight into the clinch where she can outwork her opponent. She's outlanded her opponents 140 to 100 in significant clinch strikes, while Jackie is somebody that just doesn't spend a lot of time in those positions. Less than 7 minutes at the UFC level so far. And she has landed as many significant clinch strikes as she's absorbed. So I like Mayra in the clinch. I think Mayra is probably the better offensive wrestler here, and she's far more dangerous in the grappling exchanges. She's got big experience and strength of schedule advantages in this fight. But if she's unable to get the fight, to the clinch or to the mat, it's probably going to be Jackie winning the minutes here.
So Mayra Bueno Silva has 13 fights between Contender Series and the UFC. Guess how many fights of those 13 she has gotten at least 1 takedown?
I would say 1 or 2.
Yeah. Yep, 2.
It's 2?
Yep. And she's 1-1 in those 1-1 in those fights.
And she hadn't even attempted a takedown.
Yeah,
for something like her first 7 or 8 UFC fights. So yeah, that was something we used to talk about all the time on Stat Tickers, is what a phenomenal grappler she was, but how she refused to kind of initiate grappling exchanges, which was frustrating for people who were backing her.
Yeah, people would actually take her down and then she'd armbar them.
Yep, exactly.
Happened a lot. So yeah, I mean, Cavalcanti, I mean, she opened at minus 300. She's currently minus 250. Mayra Bueno Silva opened up plus 250, currently plus 210. What is the finish only for Silva? Oh my God.
It's big, right?
Minus 215.
Yeah.
God,
that tells you a lot, like you're going to be fighting on fairly thin margins with Jackie here, and to lay that kind of juice on her. Like in my notes here, Brady, according to the recent prices, Mayra Bueno Silva is the same price right now where she was priced against Jasmine Jazz Davicius. Who do you think is better, Cavalcanti or Jazz Davicius?
Jasmine.
Yeah, and then like she was only plus 260 against Manon Fiorot back in 2021. So Cavalcanti is being priced against Mayra Bueno Silva as if she's Jasmine, as if she's Manon. And as a matter of fact, she's actually more expensive than she was against Rocky Pennington.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I mean,
so like you're really paying up right now for Jackie Cavalcanti in this spot. And if you're paying up for her, you better be damn sure she keeps this fight standing at distance striking range.
Yeah, just a disgusting fight, in my opinion. Cavalcanti by decision, minus 236 on a book I see. She's minus 250 on the money line. The over is minus 380. I mean, Bueno Silva by sub, yeah, plus 600. Yeah, this is a stay away if I've ever seen one. Because, yeah, I think, I just don't trust Silva to fight smart. I just really don't. If someone is going to make a $20 million on a big bet, he could have gotten $1 million for a bribe. I don't think they made $20 million on it.
No.
The sportsbook wouldn't allow something like that to happen. So Jacqueline Cavalcanti is at Syndicate looking sharp AF, and Mara is slinging pussy on OnlyFans. So apparently Mara has an only. Yeah, she does. I'm surprised Dixon hasn't said anything about it. There it is.
She's her girlfriend is Gloria DePaula, right?
I believe so. Yeah. Let me see. Is she actually slinging the pussy or is she doing fight stuff? Let me look. Mayra Bueno Silva, pussy. I don't see any pussy. I see a lot of bikini photos though, but no pussy.
Oh God.
No pussy. Yeah, I mean that's always in play if the fight hits the mat. Silva by sub, always in play. Death Taxes and Cavalcanti by Splitty City. Yeah, probably is a split decision type fight. Jacqueline KO 2-3 if Mara gasses again. Yeah, she's been on OnlyFans too much. You never know. Mara is the unintentionally funniest fighter on the roster. She pulls guard. It gets logged as a takedown for the opponent. Yeah, she does pull guard here and there. Brady, I'll give you $70 to throw the show. That's a good deal. $70 to go to bed early. Get some extra sleep.
That's more than we make, doing this. That's for sure. So,
all right, send it over. I'll throw the show right now. Send it over. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We have a fun fight. Adrian Yanez going against Christian Quinones. We got Yanez, 31 years old, 5'7" with a 70-inch reach. Quinones, 29 years old, 5'8" with a 70-inch reach. Quinones, 2 years younger, 1-inch height advantage, same reach between the two. We have Yanez, who is 2-3 in his last 5 fights, a knockout win against Tony Kelly, a knockout loss against Rob Font, a knockout loss against Jonathan Martinez, a knockout win against Vinicius Salvador, and then a decision loss to Daniel Marcos. As far as Christian Quinones, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. He made his debut against Khalid Taha, won that fight by knockout, had a decision win on the Contender Series against Long Zhao, had a submission loss to Kung Ho Kong by submission in the first round, and then a submission loss to Hani Barcelos in the 3rd round. So I think this fight's going to be awesome. Both these guys want to go out there and swing dicks. Christian Quinones, he is hittable. I think he is chinny, but this guy hits really hard. He has a lot of power in his hands, but yeah, he can be finished. He can be dropped. He got dropped in the Kong fight, got submitted shortly after. He got hurt in the Ronnie Barcelos fight. He's been hurt in plenty of fights. He has really bad submission defense as well. He's been submitted like 4 times. Adrian Yanez, I kind of worry about his durability a little bit too. I mean, if Rob Font is sparking you, that might be a problem. Jonathan Martinez finished him as well. So I think, both these guys lack a little bit of durability. Both these guys have a ton of offensive firepower. I think an under here makes a lot of sense. I'm assuming it's juice to the tits. But I don't know. I feel like the better fighter is Yanez, but he's kind of inconsistent. So what are your thoughts on this fight?
I guess it's what depends on what you think of Quinones, but it's really hard to get behind Quinones right now because as bad as the momentum is for Adrian Yanez, who has lost 3 of his last 4 fights, knocked out by Rob Font, knocked out by Jonathan Martinez, split decision against Daniel Marcos. It was a close fight, and the fact that he went 3 close rounds with a guy like Daniel Marcos is pretty good. Shows that the guy's a legit fighter, but the wins, man. Vinicius Salvador, that's his last win. That's it. In the last 4 fights, that's the only win that he has, and isn't that a
flyweight?
Yeah, Vinicius Salvador is a flyweight who they moved up to 135 so that he could take an ass whooping from a guy that really needed a win. Because like I said it from day one, man, they set this guy up. They tried to make a star out of Adrian Yanez. They tried to manufacture a star out of this kid, kind of like they did with Alex Pereira. They just gave him Victor Rodriguez. They gave him Gustavo Lopez. They gave him Randy Costa. They gave him Davey Grant. And they gave him Tony Kelly. He won all 5 of those fights. None of those guys will shoot a takedown on you. None of those guys will expose the massive hole in your grappling. He goes out there against Rob Font, who's not going to shoot any takedowns, but then it turns out Yanez's striking isn't as high level as we were being, told that it was, because Martinez goes out there and kicks his leg off and makes a mockery out of him, and Font knocks him out in the first round. They give him the win against Salvador, and then he goes life and death with Daniel Marcos, very close fight. So, but the thing about Quinones, Brady, is that he's been finished in all of his losses.
Yeah.
So I feel like a guy like Yanez is going to be a little bit more durable than Quinones, who's been finished, on the regional scene, while Yanez is fighting, UFC level competition. Guys like Jonathan Martinez, Rob Font, losing to those kind of guys, those are top 15 fighters, in the toughest division in the UFC. So is Quinones on Yanez's level? Can he get a little bit of grappling going? Maybe that would be good. Because if he could find a way to have some success in the grappling exchanges of this fight, he probably looks like a lot better than his price tag. But Christian is on a 2-fight losing streak, and he's on a 1 year and 8 month layoff, Brady.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you can really back this guy right now either against Yanez. So this is probably going to be a stay away from me, because I think Yanez is kind of like a one-dimensional boxer, and I don't really see him pulling away from fighters that have a pulse. And I think Christian Quinones has a pulse. The guy's got 23 professional fights. He's huge for the division. He's got good power. He's got some sneaky grappling. He's got a pretty good amount of experience against solid names on the regional scene as well. So it's an interesting fight, but I feel like Yanez, he's got to win this fight, Brady. If he doesn't win this fight, he's lost 4 out of his last 5. And frankly, his wins are shit. Other than the Davey Grant fight, which I don't think he won.
He lost that fight, though.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, look at that. I mean, if you throw out the Davey Grant win, his wins are against Victor Rodriguez, Gustavo Lopez, Randy Costa, Tony Kelly, and Vinicius Salvador. That's pretty bad, dude. So in retrospect, we know who Adrian Yanez is. He's an above average boxer, and that's about all that he brings.
Yep. Yeah, I really question the durability of both guys. Quinones finishing all 5 of his losses, 2 by knockout, 3 by sub. He's been dropped and hurt a lot. And then Yanez, like, if you're getting knocked out by Rob Font's not knocking anybody out in the first round ever. That just shouldn't happen. And even Jonathan Martinez, who's he finishing? Nobody, ever.
Yeah, right.
So it's like, and Christian hits hard is what I'm concerned about. So I think Yanez is a lot better than this guy. He should beat this guy, but I also can't get to that price tag. I kind of like the under, even though it's taken some steam, and actually opened up plus money, believe it or not. Opened up at plus 115, but it was only there for 2 minutes.
Yeah, that makes sense, because is the fight doesn't go still at minus 175, because that's a pretty good number, actually.
Yeah, the under 2.5 is now minus 170, but the fight doesn't go as minus 175. So you're better off playing that fight doesn't go at minus 175. But then again, it could be one of those wars where they both drop each other and almost submit each other, and somehow goes the distance. But I think violence would be my favorite look here between these two. It's gonna be a war.
It should be a really fun fight. Great matchmaking here.
Yeah. Still waiting for that $70. So it looks like we're gonna keep on going. No $70 there. Brady just went from minus 300 to minus 110. Adrian Yanez may be the biggest bust we've ever seen. No, I mean the biggest bust is Patchy Mix, but Yanez can be the second biggest bust. Yanez by decision. It would be Quinones' first ever decision loss, believe it or not. Yanez durability very questionable. Yeah, I question it. Giannis should win by KO. He's due for another one. Quinones is the perfect matchup for Giannis' style. Bonfam brothers both to lose, plus 251 on FanDuel. Giannis is fighting for his job, and with the government shutdown, he's not getting food stamps. Okay.
I don't think he needs them.
Yeah.
I think he's doing pretty good.
Font can take a beating like no one's business. Yeah, he can. Yeah, he can. All right. Let's keep moving on to the next fight. Before we do so, be sure to smash the like button for us. We are at a grand total of 87 likes. Let's see if
That's
we can get
pretty
100.
good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Let's see if we can get 100 likes by the time we get out of here. If we get 200 likes, I will get a face tattoo.
Yes.
But it has to be by the time we have 600 people watching. We should be able to get 200 likes, right?
Especially if you're going to get a really good face tattoo. I think that would be something people would like to see.
And a face tattoo will say Hood Wolf.
Yes.
That'd be cool, man. Hood.
Yeah,
hood
dude, like one hood under
Yeah.
one eye and
Yep.
wolf under the other. That would be badass.
Yep. Agreed.
They used to call you the Hood Wolf, right? Weren't
No,
you
you're-
telling me that like back in your college days a little bit?
I think it might have been someone else. I don't think that was me. Might have been somebody else.
It
But
wasn't me.
I
either.
kind of want that tattoo now, to be honest.
That
so
really would be pretty badass, dude.
Hopefully, I have a hard time, getting a job if I ever applied for one. But I don't know. I think it'd be pretty cool. It'd be very cool to get a Hood Wolf tattoo. But we'll see if we get 200. All right, moving on to the next fight. We go from a banger to an even bigger banger. It's a Hyder Emil fight. It's Hyder Emil fight week for all who celebrate, and I definitely celebrate. And he's taking on Jamal Emmers, one of the most untrustworthy fighters in the UFC. We got Hyder Emil, 35 years old, 5'9" with a 70-inch reach. Jamal Emmers, 36 years old, 5'10" with a 74-inch reach. Emil, 1 year younger. Emmers with a 1-inch height advantage and a 4-inch reach advantage. Hyder Emil is 3-2 or 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Had a decision win on the Contender Series against Emil Jimenez, a knockout win against Fernie Garcia, a knockout win against Jung Lee in about 60 seconds, a decision win against William Gomes, and then a knockout loss to Jose Delgado. As far as Jamal Emmers, he is 3-2 in his last 5 fights, a decision win against Hussein Ashkabab, a decision loss to Jack Jenkins, a knockout win against Dennis Bazukia, a knockout loss to Nate Landwehr, and then a Gabriel Miranda knockout win his last time out. And hopefully we can get Miranda back in there. Love watching Gabriel Miranda with that mustache.
Yeah.
Nice mustache there. So yeah, this is going to be a Hyder Emil fight. And I broke it down so perfectly, Weezy, on my prediction video for the Delgado fight. I actually was picking Delgado by first round knockout, but Hyder Emil liked my breakdown so much, he actually posted it to his Instagram. And my breakdown of the Hyder Emil fight was he's going to take his dick, he's going to pull it out, and he's going to start swinging it. That's what I said, and he posted that on his own Instagram. I loved it, but that's what he does, man. I mean, this guy wants to go out there and do one thing and one thing only. He wants to take out his dick. He wants to measure dicks with his opponent, and this fight's going to come down to who has the bigger dick. So the question I'm going to pose to you, between Hyder Emil and Jamal Pretty Boy Emmers, who has the bigger dick?
Ooh, the Filipino guy against the African. I mean, biology is going to tell us that one might be bigger than the other. However, I love Hyder Emil's fights, and this guy, if you were to just say okay, who do you think coaches this dude? If you're an old school MMA fan, you'd probably say Gilbert Melendez, because the way that this guy fights, he fights like his hair is on fire. He's just absolutely nuts. He pushes that pace on his opponent. He's willing to take one to eat one, take one, eat one, and give one. He's just there in that phone booth, making you work, making you fight, hitting you hard. And he's just going to be, I think he's going to be around for a long time because he puts on such exciting fights. Emmers is one of the most gifted athletes in the division. He's got great size at 5'10" with a 74-inch reach. He's got really good wrestling. He's got power in his hands. He's got great measurables for the division, great athletic ability. He does everything well, but there just seems to be no process to the way that he fights. But up until that Bazookia fight, which I remember I lost a lot of money on because I had the fight going to decision. I had a Bazookia finish only prop because he's been a really durable guy. Ever since that Bazookia fight, man, all 3 of his fights have finished. And he's went from being a decision merchant to somebody who's going out there and swinging dicks with his opponent. So I like the fight doesn't go to decision here. I like the unders. And right now, the under 2.5 is sitting at around, let me see, minus 180. I'd like to take the under 1.5 for the fight doesn't start round 2. I don't think that these guys are going to get out of round 1, man. I think it's going to be an absolute barn burner, and I think somebody's going to get served violently early in this fight. I'm not really all that I'm pretty agnostic on which one gets served, to be honest with you. It's a Hyder Emil fight. These guys are just going to throw down. So I don't know who's going to land the first big shot. But I do think that Hyder's probably got the better pace. And I think that his style is more likely to work than Emmers trying to. If Emmers fights at Hyder's pace, I don't think it's going to go well for him, dude.
Yeah, I mean, money's pouring in on the under. So the under, I don't know why they do this. Like, it's so annoying. The under opened up at plus 125, under 2.5.
Yeah, and like these are the spots that we're getting fixed, Brady. When the entire market is on one side, and then the fight goes over, and then you wonder why they hung that fucking really attractive number at a price that they knew would get steamed. And it just seems like this could potentially be one of those type of fights, you know? The entire market thinks that it should go under, so then somebody gets paid to make it go over, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the other got obliterated. Plus 125 to minus 180.
Well,
Yeah.
We'll see if this one actually finishes under, because the market thinks it will.
Yep.
And Vegas needs it to go over, though.
Where does Emmers train?
Where does who? Emmers?
Yeah, Emmers.
I think he's a Vegas guy, right?
Oh, God. Oh, no.
And then Hyder Emil is a scrap pack guy, so he's a Northern California guy. Or Central-ish California, I should say.
Oh, God. Not good.
Yeah.
Not good. I found that Instagram post. Let's see if I can play it. Hyder posted me on his Instagram.
This dude is insane. I know I always joke, every other week saying, oh, these guys are going to go out there and they're going to swing dicks. Hyder Emil, that's literally Hyder Emil. Hyder Emil goes out there, he pulls out his dick, and he starts swinging it with not a care in the world. I mean,
He edited it to say, and he starts swinging it. Shout out to Hyder Emil.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. Some fighters, they like the breakdowns, man. Some fighters, they like them. Fan of the show, Hyder Emil. Fan of the show.
There we go. I'm a fan of him.
How can you not be?
Yeah.
How can you not be? So yeah, I mean, I liked Hyder, but I liked him a lot better at plus money. Like, he opened up plus 160, was sitting around plus 105 for a while, minus 150 now. So the line completely flipped, and it's coming in on Hyder. I like it less and less the more big of a favorite he gets. I remember betting him as an underdog against William Gomes. Oh, but yeah, minus 150 here and continuing to get larger. The under, probably the best look, but like I said, has gotten pounded in the ass. And it's only Sunday, so could keep getting pounded. We could be throwing. If we bet this under, we could be smashing our TVs.
Yeah, but I still like it even at minus 180. I still think there's probably some value there if these guys fight like I expect them to fight.
You'll like it until you see a patient Hyder Emil.
Yeah.
He got knocked out. Remember, maybe it's time to tone it back a little bit. What if we see a patient Hyder Emil?
Hey, man, I would just warn any fighter that's thinking about switching up a style that they've been with for quite a while that people might think you're trying to fix the fight. I mean, like, I'm not joking anymore. Like, people, after what Bulgarian did, any of you pricks who are out there fucking skimming points and doing all this bullshit, trying to make steakhouse bets happen, there's going to be a lot more people who are onto it now. So,
yep. What's good? Good to see you. Wanted to give a big F you to Isaac. I sell my soul, Bulgarian. Yeah. Yep, biology class with Wheezy. There you go. There you go. Hyder Emil just got knocked out cold about 4 months ago. Is that enough time to recover to get a win? Yeah, at least it's better than who's that one dude that Kevin Holland got brutally dropped several times against D-Rod and fought like 2 months later and looked like crap against Malott. 4 months, it's better than 2 months. But it was a bad
knockout.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Yeah,
it was brutal. And Emmers has some power early, so Emmers KO 1 could be in play, but I don't know. I think somebody's probably getting served. Emmers has alternated win-loss his entire career. He's due for a loss. Yep, he is. Why is Hyder Emil fighting in the prelims at the Apex? This is a banger of a matchup. Emmers is slick as well. I mean, Hyder just strikes me as one of these guys that would fight in like a Walmart parking lot. I feel like this guy would just fight anywhere, like at a Waffle House at 3 a.m. He just strikes me one of those guys. I think there's value on Brady to smash over 0.5 TVs this weekend at plus 130. I don't think I'm smashing TVs, man, because I don't think I'll have enough action on this card to get that upset about it. So I don't know. I would take the under actually of TV smashed. Does Hyder's dick have knee sleeves? So he's one of the very few people that can pull off the double knee. He will come out there with the double knee sleeves. And he is an older fighter. He's an older guy. It doesn't seem like it, but he's an older guy, 35 years old. But Emmers is even older at 36. Both of them might have double knee sleeves in this fight.
Yeah, they're getting up there.
We got Dr. Peener Jr. in the building. Sorry I'm late. Did Brady sing for us today? No, I did not. Remember when Green got KO'd? Bobby Green against Jalen Turner? Yeah. or against Hoofy. Yeah, I mean, Green's been taking some really bad knockouts. But he's also getting paid very, very well to throw that patty fight. We got Daniel Forrest with the $2 dono, wig fund, and appreciation tip. Pipe up that like button. Appreciate you, my guy Forrest. And haven't really had to wear a wig lately. You know, Liang Na's out of the UFC. Sean O'Malley hasn't fought in a while. What else? Who else have I used a wig for?
Diego Lopez?
Yeah, I did do a wig for Diego Lopez.
Yeah.
Haven't really needed one. I think I've done it one for Patty, maybe Patty Pimblett, potentially. But haven't had to use a wig in a little bit. So hopefully that can change in the very near future. All right. We got to get Liang Na back in the UFC. But I might start a petition. I might head to Vegas soon and start a petition to get Liang Na back in the UFC. She is on, I believe, a 3 or 4 fight winning streak now, Easy. All submissions.
That's awesome.
Yep.
I want her back too, man. I love cashing on her unders.
Yep. Shout out to Liang Na. All right, let's keep moving on to the next fight. We have Marco Tulio Silva going against Christian Leroy Duncan. We got Duncan, 30 years old, 6'2" with a 79-inch reach. Tulio, 31 years old, 6 foot with a 74-inch reach. Duncan 1 year younger, 2-inch height advantage, and a 5-inch reach advantage. Duncan is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. A knockout win against Dennis Tuoluen, a knockout win against Claudia Ribeiro, a decision loss to Gregory Rodriguez, a decision win against Andre Pulayev, and then a knockout win against Eric Anders. As far as Tulio, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. He made his debut against Ihor Peteria, won that fight by knockout, and then he knocked out poor Trayshawn Gore in the second round. I was there live. It was one of the worst beatdowns I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Poor Trayshawn Gore. But man, did Tulio look incredible in that fight. It's an interesting fight here. This was one of the first fights that caught my eye because I was taking a look at the odds and I saw, this guy, Tulio was only like minus 135 against Duncan. I'm like, wow, I kind of like that. I'm going to have to look into it. And then the shenanigans happened over the weekend. I had to, push everything back. And by the time I did look into it, Wheezy, Tulio went from like minus 135 to like minus 200. It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? And yeah, Duncan's one of these guys that will make you smash your TV. I remember almost smashing my TV when he fought Andre Pulayev. And this guy couldn't finish Andre Pulayev. Luckily, I did get it back, though, and I bet the knockout prop against Eric Anders, and that came through. But I don't know. Duncan's kind of hit or miss as well. I think he has a lot of skill, but he just doesn't really push the pace as much as he really needs to. Not a ton of urgency in there at times. I like Tulio, but just completely missed the line. I mean, this line's gotten just obliterated the last couple days. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, I think Tulio is really good, man. I think he's just got way more process to his game. It looks like there's a game plan when he goes out there, other than I'm going to try to knock somebody out with spinning shit, which is Christian Leroy Duncan's game plan. And if he doesn't knock you out with spinning shit, he's pretty easy to beat. So I think Tulio is the better grappler. I think he probably hits harder on the feet. I think he's a better fighter. You know, I'm not exactly sure what Christian's really good at other than being flashy. But that flashy shit doesn't work at this level. Sure, you can catch like Eric Anders with it, but you're never going to see Christian Leroy Duncan going out there and putting a masterclass like Marco Tulio did against Teresian Gore. I mean, like, he ran through that dude, and he did it systematically.
Wait, Weezy. Imagine what Marco Tulio would do to Andre Pulev.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You know, like, Tulio looked pretty good against Yusri Belguri, who just came in and got a UFC debut win against a fairly tough opponent. So, like, this guy, because they wanted Belguri so bad, Tulio pissed him off, and they didn't give him a contract. He went back to LFA, beat Simone dos Santos, got the win over Duclos on Dana White's Contender Series on his second shot, and then he beats Ihor Peterier and then Teresian Gore. And Teresian Gore is a guy that people were talking about being a 2-division champion, Brady.
No, he
this
was
guy
talking
about being a 185-pound champion, 205-pound champion, and Marco Tulio ran through Teresian Gore like he was nothing. So, you know, I mean, I am favoring Tulio here because I think he's the better all-around fighter. You know, I think Duncan is like flashy KO or bust here. I think he's just going to lose all the minutes, and if he doesn't find a moment, I think it's going to be pretty easy for Tulio.
Yeah, I like it, but the line has moved quite. I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, Tulio opened up as a dog, dude. Opened up as a dog, plus 120.
The market really needs Duncan now. The bookies do.
I mean, it's just been nothing but Tulio love the last couple of days. Went from like minus 135 to minus 190 in 2 days. I wish I would have taped it. Right. Yeah, I wish I would have taped it earlier, but again with the shenanigans and kind of threw me off. So, and then I don't know, like in terms of like the props, it's like I kind of actually lean this fight goes the distance, but a Tulio knockout wouldn't shock me. Tulio KOs plus 255, Tulio decisions plus 165. I don't know.
Yeah,
Duncan has a really good chin. I don't think I've ever seen
been finished.
I don't think I've ever seen Duncan hurt. I don't think he's been hurt.
I have either.
Yeah, this guy can eat a shot. So maybe it is Tulio decision.
Yeah, even in Duncan, something like 23 amateur fights, he never got finished.
Yeah. So maybe like the fight goes to decision. It would be a little greasy, but I think it's plus money.
Oh, my model really likes fight goes, or I'm sorry. My model likes the unders actually, but I like Tulio by decision at plus 165. I think that's a really good line.
Yeah. All right. Watching Trey Shore get turned into a punching bag must have been incredible to see live. Kinda. I had Tulio to win by KO in rounds 1 or 2, and the ref wouldn't freaking stop the fight. Like, who was reffing that fight? Was it probably
let's
Hurt
find
Knee?
out.
Maybe Mergliata? Yeah, let's find out.
Tulio against Gore was reffed by Mark Goddard.
Usually he'll stop a fight. That's weird. I mean, Gore took a lot of unnecessary damage there, I thought. I mean, this guy Tulio landed upwards of 200 significant strikes in that fight. So
it was pretty close. He only outlanded Teresian Gore 127-17.
Oh, God.
And he had 2 knockdowns.
Oh, God. And he wobbled him a million times, too. Yeah.
He outlanded him 118-17 at distance.
Jeez.
101 more significant distance strikes than Teresian Gore.
God. Get some help, Teresian Gore. Get some help. Something about every time CLD fights, he just pisses me off. Yeah. Typical 1 step forward, 2 steps back type of performances. Yeah. And then every now and then he'll put it on you and finish you like he finished Tuolumne and Ribeiro and Anders. But it seems like when he fights like decent guys, he doesn't fare so well. Like I remember that Petrosian fight, which is awful performance.
Yeah.
Rodriguez, that was an awful performance. So I don't know how to feel about Duncan. And I believe you are reading that right because of that Gore fight. 14.
Yeah,
fight.
and it's just skewed because there's only 11 minutes of UFC fight time for him, and he just beat the fuck out of Gore so badly that it really skewed his numbers. Yeah,
and I guess that would be the concern. Like Tulio has been knocked out before, I believe, in his only loss.
Yes.
So maybe he runs into some spinning shit.
It could happen, man. Duncan's got pretty explosive power when he lands that crazy shit that he likes to throw very often.
Yeah. All right. I say we move on to the next fight then. It is going to be Ricky Simone going against Yanni Barcelos. We got Simone, 33 years old, 5'6" with a 69-inch reach. Barcelos, 38 years old, 5'7" with a 67-inch reach. We got Simone, 5 years younger. We got Barcelos with a 1-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach disadvantage. Ricky Simone is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Knockout loss to Song Yadong. Decision loss to Mario Bautista. Decision loss to Vinicius Oliveira. Knockout win against Javid Basharat. And then a decision win against Cameron Smotherland. As far as Hani Barcelos, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Knockout loss to Umar Nurmagomedov. Decision loss to Carter Phillips. Submission win against Christian Quinones. A decision win against Peyton Talbot. And then a decision win against Cody Garbrandt. So this is a weird fight here for me. I know Ricky Simone is only 32 years old, but I was calling this guy washed a couple fights ago. I mean, he looked completely awful in the Yadong, Batista, and Oliveira fights. I know that's solid competition, but just how he looked in those fights was rough. I kind of thought Ricky, although only 30-something years old, I thought he was kind of on his way out. Then he goes out there and pulls off a massive upset against Basharat, and then he beats Smotherman, who he should be beating, and he should be actually finishing Smotherman, but kind of thought Simone was on his way out. I kind of thought Barcelos was on his way out. Barcelos got knocked out by Umar. He lost that fight to Phillips, and then he's kind of rattled off 3 wins in a row. So I think both these guys definitely still have something left in the tank. Barcelos has been looking good. Simone's been looking decent as of late. 2 kind of older fighters going at it here. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I don't know what I want to go with here because Hani Barcelos is on a 3-fight win streak. Getting a win over Peyton Talbot's a big deal. Cody Garbrandt, tough veteran. The Quinones fight was close, man. Like he was losing that fight, but he came back and won it. This guy was one of the most highly touted prospects in the bantamweight division for years, but he just couldn't stay healthy. And now that he's 38 years old, he's finally healthy and he's finally fighting 2 or 3 times a year, and he wanted to do this his entire career, but he just never was healthy up until that point. So now we're getting to see Barcelos do what he does, and he's a high volume striker. He flashes some good power. He's an above average wrestler, and he's a very high level Brazilian jiu-jitsu player. 25 professional fights, 13 UFC fights. Really impressive record of 9 wins and 4 losses. And when you look at his losses, they're to guys that have combined UFC records of 19 wins and 8 losses. So he's fighting some really good guys, but it's the same thing with Ricky Simone. The guys that he's losing to are elite fighters as well. So I don't know, man. Like these guys are pretty well matched everywhere. I'd say Barcelos probably does a little bit more, but I don't think that Ricky's going to have much trouble or much luck taking him down. And Ronnie's a little bit taller, but it's Ricky who has the reach advantage here. So, yeah, I mean, like in terms of strength of schedule, I think Ricky's probably got the better numbers overall. And just in terms of the level of competition that this dude has fought since day one in the UFC. I think his first fight was Merab, and he beat him. I mean, I don't know if he deserved to win that fight, but he did win. So, yeah, I think they're well matched. I don't know who's going to win this fight, but I think they're well matched, and I think it probably goes to decision.
Yep, we got Simone, who opened up -210, currently -160. Barcelos opened up +180, currently +140. The over-under set at 2.5. The over is juiced to the tits to -240, and the under 2.5 is +200. There you go. Will Brady get a Garbrandt face tat if we get to it? I was thinking Hood Wolf instead. I don't want that Garbrandt face tat on my face.
Yeah, you got to get the Hood Wolf one.
Barcelos has looked career best. I mean, that Talbot performance was incredible. Incredible performance. But yeah, in the Quinones fight, he did get hurt a couple times and wobbled a couple times, but that Talbot fight was a very, very good look. We got Limbo Sosa with the 199 saying Tulio is one lucky guy. Why is that?
Because his girlfriend is Norma Dumont.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty low. Norma Dumont just got a win over the weekend.
Yes, she did.
Kinda. Yeah. It looks like Dumont got her black. Dumont received her black belt after that performance.
Really?
After almost getting head and arm choked.
Oh my God.
Nice. It was great. It was good defense. She was answering the phone. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to,
There you go. She got her black belt. I see Tulio there with Dumont. Nice. Very nice. Very lucky guy.
Yes.
All right. There we go. 101 likes. We are 99 likes away from me getting a face tattoo. There we go. There we go. Hayani could be on the Super Juice in Brazil. Guy's aging backwards. He is. It's crazy, man. Barcelos says he's 38, so we can assume he's 49. He might be like 49. I agree. I think a washed Simone's got this. We'll see. Yep, she survived the head and arm. Yeah, give her that black belt, man.
Yep.
Dumont can get milked. Yes. Dumont clearly takes the L, then gets gifted a black belt. F logic. Yeah. F it, man. F it. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We got Chris Taco Padilla going against Ismael Bonfim. We got Padilla, 30 years old, 5'9" with a 74-inch reach. We got Bonfim, 29 years old, 5'8" with a 71-inch reach. We got Bonfim 1 year younger. Padilla with a 1-inch height advantage and a 3-inch reach advantage. Padilla, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Who would have thought, man? Chris Padilla, 3-0 in the UFC, a submission win against James Yontop, a knockout win against Rong Zhu, a decision win against Jai Herbert. As far as Bonfim, he is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Knockout win against Terrence McKinney, a submission loss to Benoit Saint Denis, decision win against Vince Pichel, and then a knockout loss against Nazim Sadikov. So this is a fight where I think the more skilled fighter, I mean, clear as day, is Bonfim. I think Bonfim's a lot more skilled, but I do worry a little bit about the durability. This guy's been finished in all of his losses. I do worry a little bit about the submission defense as well. But yeah, I think he's a good fighter. I like the boxing. He can grapple in his own right, but this guy, Chris Padilla, although not the most skilled fighter, this guy's a dog, and he's winning fights. You know, he won against James as a big underdog. I believe he's a big underdog against Rong Zhu. I actually bet him as an underdog against Jai Herbert, and he's an underdog once more. So do you think Chris Padilla comes through and cashes as a dog 4 times in a row?
I wouldn't be surprised, man, because I don't think I don't rate Bonfim's durability or grappling at all. And that's a big part of the game, you know, is being able to take a punch, you know, and I don't think that this guy's got any heart. You know, I remember saying when he fought Nazim Sadikov, I picked Sadikov purely on heart because I knew that you weren't going to knock Sadikov out. Sadikov's not going anywhere. That guy you could have him on death's door. He's going to keep fighting. The second that things go wrong for Ismael Bonfim, he gives up and he taps. And I remember saying that, like, let's see what happens if Bonfim gets cracked just once. And what happened? He got cracked once.
Quit.
And he fucking quit between the first and second rounds. 10 minutes left in the fight, and he quit. So I worry about that against a guy like Padilla. You know, because if you don't get Padilla out of there, it's going to look like the Rong Zhu fight. Because Rong Zhu was looking really good against Padilla. And then one elbow up the middle. He caught him with, blew up his eye, and then the doctors had to step in and stop it. That was disgusting. That was more disgusting than Rong Zhu's pink hair.
Oh God.
You know, so like I worry about Bonfim, you know, like can Padilla do things to make him uncomfortable here? Can he make him grapple? Can he clinch him up and wear on him? You know, can he pressure him, maybe get him on the back foot? Can he, you know, and if he makes him wrestle, I think that he could potentially give this guy some problems, you know? So I think there are things that Padilla can do to make this dude uncomfortable. But if he's unsuccessful in doing that, Ismael Bonfim's got beautiful boxing. Just beautiful. So I think he'll be fine on the feet against most of this division. You know, it's just the question is, can you get Bonfim to where he's not the bully? Because he's a good hammer, but he's a terrible, terrible nail.
Oh,
So I think that Padilla, who's demonstrated on a number of different occasions, this dude's tough. He's going to scrap at this level. So yeah, I think that he could potentially have some success against the much more skilled fighter and the much more skilled striker in Bonfim.
Yeah, man, the books are sharp. I was thinking like a finish only for Padilla, but it's not plus money, and he's a decent sized dog. He's like plus 170.
Yeah, that's where I love that kind of shit. You're telling me that the guy's got most of the finish equity, but I'm going to get him at plus 170 on the money line? I like that because it's not like Bonfim is just like this absolutely lockdown minute winner because the guy's grappling game isn't very good. He can win minutes on the feet very, very successfully, but if he doesn't get that kind of a fight, is he gonna be able to dirty box with Padilla in the clinch? Is he gonna be able to grapple with this guy? Because Taco's got some good back takes, dude.
Yeah, really slick grappling.
Yeah, so it's an interesting fight.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yep, definitely a dog or pass. I'm not laying minus 200 on Ismail Bonfim.
Agreed.
But
I cashed big on Salakov last time against him, and I'm going to continue to look to find those kind of opponents that I think can give him trouble.
Yeah, I really wish that finish only was plus money, but they're sharp, man. That's a sharp right there. Yeah, maybe Padilla money line could potentially. We'll see. I just didn't like how he looked in the Herbert fight, man. I thought he looked pretty bad there. I mean, that fight was awful, but
yeah.
Then again, it was a Jai Herbert fight, so what do you expect?
It's a very good point.
Yeah. Taco's the dog. I mean, which one of these guys is a dog? Taco.
Yep.
Taco's the dog. Piping Taco's gonna be tough, man. Has Taco been piped before? I think he's been piped maybe
well, he's been finished on the regional scene 3 different times.
Oh God.
But he's 3-0 in the UFC. So he's 30 years old. He's kind of coming into his own, good amount of experience.
Yeah. Taco Padilla, very underrated. How is he such a dog here? It's probably the Bonfim name. Name. Taco's cut was so bad last fight. Might be a Diaz or Bexy situation where he gets his opponent up in every fight from now on. No heart. Yeah, Bonfim, no heart, man. Taco's actually very smart too. Listen to him talk about fighting. He'll find a way. Padilla's a dog, yeah. Padilla is in a 6-fight win streak. Also, he won his last 2 fights against guys that were Wangzhou 25-5. Yeah, great win. And then Jai Herbert 13-5, decent win. Also, the Jai Herbert fight was in the UK. Usually jet lag can have a serious effect, and usually you'll get some hometown cooking, but he got the decision win. Guys, is Salty Baldiev still in the UFC? I believe he is. I don't know.
Why wouldn't he be? He just won his last fight. I mean, he should still be here.
Yeah, I think he might be in the UFC still. I haven't heard anything about him getting cut. This bro is overrated. Ismail, yeah, I think they're both a little bit overrated, to be honest. I mean, they're not bad. Neither of them are bad, but I think they're both a little bit overrated. All right, let's get to the good stuff, Weezy. We got the return of old man Muslim Salakov. He says he's 41. I mean, this guy's not 41. I mean, are you wrong there, or did he say he's 41? There must be a typo.
That's what UFC Stats has.
Wow, there's no way.
Yeah, dude, when you've been walking the earth for 700 years, Brady, getting a fake ID in Russia is the least of your problems.
Yeah, this guy's like 600 years old, right? I mean,
at least 600 years old. Like I said, I saw him. He attended my yaya's wedding in Naxos, Greece, back in like the 19th century.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, dude. Like I saw a picture. I was at my Aunt Maria's house. I'm like, holy shit, that's Muslim Salakov. I'm like, was that guy a vampire? And she kind of gave me a look like she didn't want to say yes, but the little bit of a nod.
He's a vampire, man.
I know he's a vampire. We know that.
Yeah. So this fight's awesome. Remember when Salakov landed that spinning old kick against Song Kanan? I think he leads the UFC with most spinning old kick knockouts.
He does. That's his record.
Yeah, I think he has 2 or 3 spinning old kick knockouts. I don't think anybody else has a spinning old kick knockout there. So we have a really old man in Salakov who's 90 years old, versus a really chinny Uros Medic. What's going on with Uros Medic, man? He got dropped a couple times against Matthew Simmelsberger. He got knocked out brutally in 60 seconds against Puna Soriano. He gets dropped by Gilbert Urbina.
Yeah.
Gilbert Urbina.
He sure did.
I remember I had a big bet on Medic, I think round one or round two, round one and round two, or Medic in the under, something like that. And I mean, this guy Urbina dropped him, and I'm like, there's no way. There is no way on this earth that Gilbert Urbina is about to knock this guy out. It's very close, very sketchy moment. So he got knocked down by Urbina, knocked down by Simmelsberger, knocked out brutally by Soriano. He got hurt badly against Jalen Turner. I mean, this guy's not durable at all, but he can give it. He can't take it, but he can give it, man. Medic hits very hard, very dangerous. So I don't know. Old man versus not a durable guy. I think somebody's getting served here. The under 1.5 is getting obliterated. I mean, the under 1.5 opened up. I'm guessing at a very stupid line. Let's see. The under 1.5 opened up at at plus 140.
Oh,
boy.
Of
course it did. And it was there for, you guessed it, 2 minutes. And it's currently minus 170 to the under 1.5. Are they thinking Terrence McKinney's fighting or what? What's going on here? But yeah, it makes sense. I don't think Medic can take a shot, and I think Salakov's 100 years old. I think somebody's getting served here early. Will it be a spinning old kick from Salakov, or will Medic touch the old chin of Salakov there? I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun fight, dude, because, like when you see an under 1.5 in a men's welterweight fight at minus 160, this happens about 33.7% of the time, that welterweight fights that are scheduled for 3 rounds, they go under 1.5 rounds. This is being priced as if it's going to happen 61.5% of the time. So it's like almost a 28% difference between the long-term trend for under 1.5 rounds for the division and what the market is willing to pay for this fight ending under 1.5 rounds. So it just goes to show you that not only do people not have faith in Medic and Salakov's chin, but they both think, obviously these guys can touch you. The fact that Muslim Salakov went and just got Carlos Leal out of there in no time, flat. Maybe that's a fight we should look into, Maybe Muslim Salakov went to Carlos Leal and said, I'll drain the blood from every ancestor you have on this planet if you don't throw this fight. Mm-hmm. And what are you supposed to do? He's a vampire. He's going to outlive you anyway, unless you can find the vampire that turned him, and that's hard to do. Vampires, they walk in silence, Brady. They're not trying to be found. Mm-hmm. You got to find them at night, because if they go out during the day, they're going to get scorched to death by the sun. So, but these are things that the Stat Diggers audience already knows. Minus 600 for a fight doesn't go to decision. Minus 600. People what is Muslim Salakov by spinning old kick? Like you could probably get that on BetMGM by like plus 450.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think Uros should win this, but like you said, man, his chin is seriously in question here. And if you don't believe me, look at that under 1.5 price. Look
at the Urbina fight. I mean, if Urbina is dropping you, we have a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, and Urbina is one of the most hittable guys I've ever seen. Like, remember Radke landed like 4 left hooks on him in like 15 seconds, and it was just over. And then you remember what Teresian Gore did to him?
Yeah.
You remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. He was nuking him.
Man. This guy's not a 41-year-old man. I mean, there's just no way. And this picture was taken 209 weeks ago. It looks 41 here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's 4 years ago.
He's like at least 60. Yeah, maybe 7 years old. It's just crazy. Look at that. Look at that guy. That's not a 41-year-old man.
Yeah.
I don't buy it.
I don't either, man. Not for a minute. When you're Tapology pictures in black and white. That's all you need to know.
Right.
You know, he finally changed that picture. He finally got a color photographer to come by and take a picture of him so that he could put it on Tapology.
So, do any of these fighters? I know Salakov doesn't. Medic is he training in King's MMA still?
That's where he's been most of his career. Is that King's with Beneil Dariush?
Where's that gym at?
Southern California.
Oh God.
Yorba Linda, California, ladies and gentlemen. Beneil Dariush, stand up. Well, that's where Beneil's from. I don't know where the gym actually is. I don't know if it's in Yorba Linda or not.
I mean, that decision prop. I mean, and Medic and his boys, I think they might like steak.
They might. And, you know, Salakov's pretty low volume. You could see this being like a low volume staring contest potentially. Salakov only throws 7.4 distance strikes per minute. Uros Medic only throws 9.5 distance strikes per minute, but they both have really high knockdown rates and they both get knocked down. They've been knocked down a combined 5 times in 21 UFC fights, and they've been knocked out a combined 3 times in 7 UFC losses.
Yeah, I'm really surprised this under is -170. Like, geez, it got smashed. But yeah, I guess it makes sense. We know Medic wants his space.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Salakov fought alongside Genghis Khan. I think so. Sacking villages on horseback circa 1690 is the base base for MMA.
It is.
This man witnessed the fall of multiple empires. Yes, he did. What happened to Dumas?
Well, I think he got cut and then added back to the roster.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he got a new contract, but not 100% sure. Salakov versus Medic is a bathroom break.
No.
You don't like watching old guys throw kicks? I don't know. Ali Sleaze guys fights to decision. Ya and Anderson, Luque and Joel. I'll come back next week when this is a decision. And yeah, this could be a rigged fight. Yeah. This could be a rigged fight. We've seen it plenty of times. These guys could do a gentleman's agreement and do nothing for 15 minutes. We could see it.
Yeah.
The Urbina brothers are fighting family, or a fighting family as legendary as the Gracies. Oh, I don't know about that. I think Salakov was the bad guy in Ghostbusters too. Salakov by spinning old kick. Yeah, I mean, that's how he wins. Spinning old kick. They both have the same manager, Muslim round 1, and then gives up. Medic with sus takedowns for a decision. I mean, I can see it.
Interesting.
That's weird. I don't like when they do that. When they have the same manager, I don't like when that happens.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense, you know, but the manager gets paid.
Yeah. Medic has to eat loads of raw garlic so that it oozes out of his pores when he sweats. Yeah.
Be a good idea.
Steakhouse fight.
If it goes to decision.
Potentially. I know it looks like a lot of money's coming on this under. Salakov is at most 35. Times that by 2. Times it by 2. Times it by
35 centuries?
Yeah, 35 centuries. At least 70 or 80, man. Muslim Salakov recently paid a visit with my dad, and I think that might be bullish for him.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah, those Russian steakhouses, man, they'll get you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. What a weird fight this is, but it should be fun. All right, next fight. We got Matt Danger Schnell going against Joseph Morales. We got Matt Danger Schnell, 35 years old, 5'8", with a 70-inch reach. Joseph Morales, 31 years old, 5'6", with a 69-inch reach. We have Joseph Morales, 4 years younger. We have Matt Schnell with a 2-inch height advantage and Matt Schnell with a 1-inch reach advantage. Schnell is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Submission win against Suma Darji. Knockout loss to Mateus Nicolau. Knockout loss to Steve Urseg. Submission loss to Cody Durden. And then a decision win against Jimmy. What's up with people taking Flick the decision? Come on. What's up with it? I don't get it. As far as Morales, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He made his debut for the Ultimate Fighter finale and won that fight by second-round submission. Looked incredible there. We were there live, and I couldn't believe my eyes. He looked really good. The pressure was great. I was mixing in the grappling. The grappling looked great. was very, very impressed with one Joseph Morales. And if you guys know me, I'm always looking to fade Matt Schnell. I don't care who he's fighting. I even bet Jimmy Flick against Matt Schnell. That tells you everything you need to know. I mean, this guy, Matt Schnell, I think he's the least durable fighter in the UFC currently. 8 losses inside the distance for Matt Schnell. 5 by knockout, 3 by submission. This guy has 8 finished losses. This guy has 5 retirement. I mean, this guy's retired like 5 times in the last 3 years. He just keeps on retiring. And I have a feeling he might hang him up once more. I mean, so, yeah, I mean, if Joseph Morales kind of fights like he did in his last fight, come forward with pressure, mixing the grappling. We've seen Matt Schnell tapped out against, Cody Durden. That was a horrible look. We've seen him tapped out against Brandon Royval early in the fight. He can be knocked out. He can be hurt. We saw Morales hurt that Idris guy in the fight. So, yeah, I think Morales has a lot of ways to win this fight. What I will say is this: there is a big market, overcorrection here. Morales was a massive dog in his fight for the ultimate finale fight. I think he was like plus 300, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And now he's minus 270. So, yeah, like I said, I'll always be looking to fade Matt Schnell. I think I'd pick most guys against him, but we are having to pay a pretty big premium here because of how good Morales did look in his last fight and how just bad Matt Schnell's been looking the last several years, to be honest. So, yeah, Morales probably finishes Schnell and gives him his 9th finish loss, and Schnell probably retires for the 6th time.
Yeah, dude, he's retired so many times, and I mean, like,
crazy.
Like he's famous for so many things. You think about Danger Schnell, and I mean, like, he leads the UFC in retirements.
Yes,
he's famous for having one of the worst chins that's ever, and in the flyweight division.
Yeah,
in a division that's known for having no power, this guy makes everybody looks like Ngannou. He's famous for getting dunked on by Chris Tyone.
Oh, he's famous for the double tap. He does the double tap.
And I was gonna say the
you're gonna say
that. Like when you tap this guy out, he's tapping with both hands.
Wait.
He wants you off of him as soon as possible.
I have a question.
Okay.
I bet the Morales by sub prop, right? And the Morales by sub prop is sitting at plus 200. If he double taps, do I get double my money?
You don't.
What?
They're not going to give you double your money. No.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up. It's kind of messed up if you think about it. But the question is, can Morales knock him out? Because Morales is
able to.
Because his KO prop is plus 400, but his sub prop is plus 200. And you're like, why is the KO prop twice as cheap? Like this guy's got no shit, no chin. But then you also think at the same time, it's like, you think of the double taps, and you're like, oh god, yeah, it could be a sub too, So, but like just 5 fights ago, Morales lost to Eric Shelton.
Oh,
he had some wins on the regional scene against Sidemore Honorio and Anthony Dew. These are not great names, So like you mentioned, Brady, you got to be real careful when somebody goes from being a plus 300 underdog to a minus 200 favorite. We just saw it with Seokhyun Ko last week, and he wound up covering that massive price increase that he took from one fight to the next. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that Morales could do it, but the recent price shift is enough to make you think about it a little bit more than you would ordinarily think about it, because Matt Schnell looks turbo washed. And, the chin really isn't there. He's got less than 50% takedown defense. He's double tapping to submissions, fucking, Chris Tyone's going Air Jordan on his ass, just fucking windmill dunking on him. Wait, pointing at the screen. Wait till you see it. I've never seen anyone's head bounce off the canvas like that. You can't come back from that. It's like the grammar school or the high school equivalent of shitting your pants at school. Like you're done. Socially, you're done. You got to pull out of school. You got to move. If Chris Tyone dunks on you, it's probably time to start another career.
That's why he retired. He retired.
You have to. You almost have to at that point.
And then they were like, okay, if you unretire, we'll give you Jimmy Flick, right?
Yeah, they did do that. And yeah, why not? He's like, sure, That guy can't knock me out.
There was some sketchy. I mean, Flick could have easily won that fight had Flick not been a complete idiot. Like there was a couple times where Flick just like gave up position for no reason instead of staying on top and winning it. Yeah, I think Schnell's like washed. So, but yeah, we're not getting big plus money on Morales no more. That's for sure. Jeez, minus 270 now. Yeah. One of the biggest favorites on the card. So I feel like a lot of these totals should be set at one. Like I feel like the Emil Emmers fight should have been set at 1.5. Obviously the Salakov Medic fight 1.5. I feel like the Hokit Jimenez fight should be set at 1.5, and it is. And as well as the McVey Valentine fight. And then this fight's also at 1.5. But the over 1.5 is minus 170, and the under 1.5 is plus 149. The fight is a good decision is minus 180. It's a lot for a flyweight fight, but it's also a Matt Schnell fight. And this guy's been finished more than anybody I've ever seen.
So many times, dude. Yeah. So many times he's been finished. He's been knocked out 5 times. He's been submitted 3 times. He's been finished 8 of his 9 professional losses in 3-round fights.
Yeah, hopefully Morales doesn't fix this one.
Let's hope, man.
I hope not. UFC must like Matt Schnell. I thought they would cut him 6 times. Yeah. If Schnell wins, the sport is truly fixed. Yeah, we're about to find out if the sport is truly fixed. If Matt Schnell is getting a win in 2025. Is this the main event or is this the co-main event?
Co-main.
Oh my gosh, Matt Schnell in a co-main event. What is going on?
It's an Apex card.
Yeah, it is. I hope Mergliotta's not reffing this one. I sure hope not. Schnell Sumadarji round 2 was amazing. Absolutely was amazing. Morales, good anchor bet for parlays potentially. Don't be so hard on Schnell for tapping with both hands. He knew he was in there with Tyone. Yeah. Double tap, man. Double tap. I've been saying this for years. There's still guys in the 2025 making $12K for show money. You're either really naive or just plain stupid to think shady stuff hasn't been going and still going out. And we've been calling out shady stuff the past year and a half. We've been calling it out. We've been noticing. We've been noticing Bobby Green showing up with wads of cash at the press conference. We see you, Bobby Green. We knew you. We know you threw that Paddy Pimblett fight. We knew it. My son is 15. I'm pretty sure he can KO Schnell. I mean, I think Augusta win could KO Schnell.
Yeah.
Morales win over Eduardo Henrique is aging well.
In the house, in the tough house is what he's talking about.
I think.
Probably.
That's the craziest time he's ever done. Yeah, that was wild. That was very wild. Brady and Weezy, what do you think of my Triple J parlay? Hokit, Cavalcanti, and Morales. I think it probably hits, even though I'm not a big fan of Cavalcanti. And I'm not a big fan of that Hokit fight. That's not even a real fight, but Hokit should win against the jiu-jitsu.
It's so hard to know what to think of that Hokit fight because we just don't know anything about this Max Jimenez other than he's a grappler.
I mean, he's gonna pull guard. He's gonna roll for a leg, and he's probably gonna get pounded out. Is what I'm thinking. Chris Moutinho versus Matt Schnell, the movable force versus the stoppable object. Right there. Yeah, somebody's got to win. I'll take Moutinho, man. I mean, Moutinho, he's durable.
He is.
That's about it.
Well, unless he's fighting Guido Canetti.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 40-year-old Guido Canetti. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Looks fight IQ gives me pink eye. Same. Matt Schnell losing by Spazzy double tap. I can see it, man. I can see it. I still don't know how Jimmy Flick beat Cody Durden. Yeah, flying triangle, right?
Yeah, flying triangle, man. You don't see that every day.
Matt Schnell by fake retirement. He loves retiring, man. I wish they put a lineup for Matt Schnell retiring. It'd be like minus 300. You know damn well this guy's retiring, especially if he gets finished, right? If he gets finished, he's definitely retiring. Good morning to you as well, Muhammad. Good to see you in here. All right. It is time for the main event, and it is going to be Gabriel Bonfim going against Randy Brown. We got Bonfim, 28 years old, 6'1" with a 72-inch reach. Randy Brown, 35 years old, 6'3" with a 78-inch reach. We got Bonfim, 7 years younger. Brown with a 2-inch height advantage and a 6-inch reach advantage. Bonfim, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. A submission win against Officer Trevin Giles. A knockout loss to Nicholas Dalby. Decision win against Angelusa. Submission win against Chaos Williams. And a decision win against Stephen Thompson. As far as Randy Brown, 4-1 in his last 5 fights, a decision win against Wellington Turman, a knockout win against Muslim Salakov, decision win against Elizu Zaleski dos Santos, decision loss to Brian Battle, and a knockout win against Nicholas Dalby. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty interesting fight here. I think Bonfim, really front-loaded type fighter. I kind of think if Bonfim's winning this fight, he's probably catching Brown early, and Brown's been caught a lot before. We saw Brown get, club and subbed by Jack Della Maddalena. We saw him get knocked out by Nico Price, hammer fist from bottom. We've seen him get hurt. We've seen him get subbed. So Bonfim's definitely going to have some opportunities to land big shots, potentially grapple here, maybe get a submission. But if this fight gets to the second round, the third round, it's going to heavily favor a guy like Randy Brown. So, yeah, Bonfim early or Brown late for me. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's going to come down to how much success Gabriel has in the grappling exchanges of this fight, because I think they're pretty well matched at distance striking range. And, dealing with a guy, Brown, who's 6'3" with a 78-inch reach in this division, and it's fucking tricky, So I think that Gabriel probably better get on that pressure, man. He better get on that pressure and get Randy Brown on that back foot, because if you just want to stand in front of this dude and give him space, his kicks are great. He's got power, and it's just really difficult to get inside of his jab and his teep kicks, because he does such a good job of using his length. And he doesn't take that much damage. He absorbs 3.3 significant strikes per minute, Brown does. So he doesn't get hit that much, but he's been knocked down 5 times in the UFC. So you can definitely, put this guy on his ass. And the thing is if you make any mistakes against Gabriel in the grappling, he's got so many really good ways to finish you. Whether it's his Von Flue choke is perfect. He's got an amazing guillotine. He's finished so many people with that guillotine. And he usually gets you to shoot on him because he's got good hands. I mean, like, people are talking about how he lost that fight against Wonderboy Thompson. But yeah, that's Wonderboy Thompson. Wonderboy Thompson probably beats Randy Brown on the feet, even today. He's just a better striker than Brown is. The guy is just a very, very difficult stylistic matchup to deal with. And Gabriel didn't have as much grappling success as a lot of people, I think, thought that he would. But he kept the striking exchanges close enough to wind up getting that split decision there. So, yeah, I mean, I think Bonfim's 7 years younger. That matters. A good amount of grappling upside here. I think that matters. But Randy Brown's strength to schedule advantage for sure. Randy Brown probably the better striker, just because of the length and how tricky it is to deal with somebody with that particular skill set. But in the small cage here, Brady, I think if Bonfim goes after this dude, I don't think you really have to worry about. See, like, Randy Brown's never putting like a cardio pace on anybody.
No.
He doesn't fucking grapple at all. And a lot of times, like, when I've had money on Randy, I'm often saying, like, come on, do something, because he does look a little bit lackadaisical. He looks confident and comfortable, but a lot of times you'd like to see him let his hands go a little bit more. So very interesting main event here. But yeah, Gabriel's got the youth, and he's got the grappling, and he's got the momentum and career trajectory on his side, while Randy Brown's got that length. He's got that height. I think he's got a little bit better striking numbers at the UFC level, and strength to schedule advantage.
Here, let's see where this line is at. Bonfim opened up minus 300, believe it or not. Currently minus 175. I mean, all these openers are just bullshit, though. I mean, I don't know why they do this.
Yeah,
they open them at a number, and that number is there for 2 minutes. Because he went from minus 300 to minus 130 in a second. And then he went from minus 130 to minus 150, and now he's at minus 175. As far as Brown, opened up plus 250, went all the way down to plus 110, and he's currently plus 150. The over-under set at 2.5 rounds. The over 2.5 minus 120. The under 2.5 is plus 100. I don't know. I think if Bonfim's winning, it might be under. If Brown's winning, it might be over. I don't know.
Yeah, Brown has been finishing 4 of his 6 UFC losses, so I do kind of feel like Bonfim's got a lot of the finish upside here. But, in his only loss, he got finished, Bonfim. But, it's a much different matchup fighting Nick Dalby.
Yeah.
Because Nick Dalby fights with a completely different style than Brown. Brown's really technical and really clean, and Dalby just stays in your face constantly making you work. So, yeah, I mean, like, Gabriel probably should win this fight. And like I said, if Randy fucks up and gets into some spots like Elizeu Zaleski had his back, if Bonfim gets to the positions that Elizeu got to, this fight's over.
Yeah. And yeah, I agree. This fight either ends in 2 minutes or it'll be a boring 25-minute decision. Yeah. All fights are rigged now. I'm paranoid. Hey, I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. I still believe Wonderboy was robbed. Yeah, I thought Wonderboy would have got the nod there, but I don't trust someone who death gassed in the second round to go 5 rounds with somebody as experienced as Randy. I will say, I think that was actually good for him. That was his first loss. I think he learned a lot from it. And then in the next fight after that, he actually went 15 minutes and looked pretty good. And so I think he's improved that cardio a little bit, but yeah, it's an extra 2 rounds to worry about. So I definitely think those extra 2 rounds will favor a guy like Brown if it gets there. What's with the love for these Bonfim bros? He's beat nobody but a sizable favorite versus a guy whose only loss is top tier. I don't know, people like the whole brother thing, I think. Bonfim can catch him in a sub. Plus 576 for a Bonfim brother fade parlay. Phillips liking the fade angle as well. All right, man. I think that's about it. We are about 2 hours and 55 minutes in. It is now time to get the piping of the week and the milking of the week. Our goal is let's avoid a fixed fight. The last couple fights, man, we've been dealing with fighters getting hit by cars, fighters fixing fights and throwing fights. We need to find somebody who's not going to fix a fight here, somebody that's going to go out there and pipe their opponent. So let's go through the potential options here. And here we go. So for potential piping, I mean, somebody's getting piped in the Valentine McVey fight. You know, the under's completely juiced. Hokit could potentially pipe this BJJ guy, Jimenez. That could be an option. Ooh, Adrian Yanez could potentially pipe Quinones. Somebody's probably getting piped in the Emil Emmers fight, but who, you know?
Yeah.
Silva, Tulio Silva could potentially pipe Duncan, but Duncan's never been piped in so many fights, amateur and pro. Somebody's getting piped in the Salakov. That's the problem. Like we're going to get a lot of pipings, but a lot of these piping type fights, they're all closely lined type thing. We don't really have a big favorite. Morales could potentially pipe Schnell, but he could also milk him. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know for a piping. I don't know what to go with. We could be risky and go with one of these closer line fights.
You know, like I kind of feel like it should be Hokit.
It should be, but it's sketchy, but it should be. I mean, he should beat this guy.
He should beat this guy. Like I could see him maybe getting caught in a submission, but like he's the much better athlete. Obviously he's got really good offensive and defensive wrestling, so he should be able to, if he wants to keep this on the feet, it should stay there. If he wants Jimenez on his back, that'll be even easier. Because this guy's not going to have any takedown defense. And I mean, he did lose to a Marauder in a 2-4, what's his name? But like, yeah, I think that he probably is getting better. But yeah, we got a lot to find out about that guy. And I think that it probably might be safe to fade him with a guy like Hokit, who actually is running through dudes in LFA and Bellator, while this guy's in a nothing organization where they don't even have cameras at the fights.
Yeah. Yep. I think we got to go Josh Hokit. On-site piping of the week is Josh Hokit to pipe Max. Is it Max Jimenez? Yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
Max.
Yeah. That's it.
On-site. All right. Let's see if he can finish this BJJ guy. I mean, Jimenez is going to be flopping to his back, trying to roll for legs and ankles, and he's just going to pound him out. So we'll get to the parlay after the milking here. So the milking of the week. The milking of the week here. Let's see. We have I'm milking. Oh, Hyder Emil could potentially milk Emmers.
Yeah.
I think we got Joseph Morales.
I think that's the one.
Yeah, it's gotta be Morales. Hyder's a decent option, but I mean he could very well get knocked out again. So yeah, I think Morales could be the milking. I think it's a good one.
Agreed. Let's go with that because I think that he could take him down. I think he could probably knock him out, and he could drop him and then just get on top of him and work him. So
Joseph Morales to Milk and double tap. Matt Danger Schnell. All right. You heard it here first. I'm not only calling the submission. I'm calling the double tap submission. I want double points on Tapology. I want to cash my bet in double. The milk of the week is Joseph Morales to Milk and double tap Matt Danger Schnell. Rear naked choke, double tap. You heard it here first. All right, now it is time to come up with a parlay here. We can go totals. We can go money lines. We can mix and match. What do you think? And I have my lay. I'm going to go with Tulio Silva. I think outside of a spinning flashy strike that somehow land, I think Tulio Silva should get it done. He's at a playable price, minus 190. I'll go Tulio Silva there.
okay. Let me see if there's any overs that I like here. Nope. I think like either an under in the McVey Valentine fight, which is minus 180, the Emil Emmers fight at under 2.5 is minus 180. I think that let's do that under 2.5 for Emil versus Emmers. I love the way that Emmers has been coming out and fighting fast in the early rounds. And I don't think that even if he wants to slow it down, that Hyder is going to let him. So I think that's going to be fought at a high pace, and we've seen both of these guys be finished before.
All right, let's do it. That parlay comes out to around plus 137.
I like it.
Yeah, there's a couple totals I like. I like that under in the McVey fight as a potential parlay piece. The Emil fight as a potential parlay piece.
Yeah, there's some good ones. Like a lot of violent spots kind of stick out this week.
Yeah, and they're all getting hammered, and it's already on a Sunday, which is annoying, but makes sense. All right. No way both Bonfams win. Yeah, we got the parlay for you there. What fight on this card has the biggest chance of getting thrown? Well, first, you got to look for somebody who trains in either Extreme Couture or Syndicate MMA. So who would that be? Who trains at Syndicate or Extreme Couture?
Syndicate or Extreme Couture. So Syndicate, you got Jacqueline Cavalcanti.
Does Miles Johns train at Syndicate or?
No, Miles Johns is with Trey Ogden.
Okay.
Trey Ogden, formerly coached by James Krause.
Oh, yeah.
As well as Miles Johns, formerly coached by James Krause. But if he's smart, he knows that the heat's on right now, and he's going to go out there and do what he always does, be a low-volume counter striker looking to land the biggest shots in the round and win a low-volume decision.
Maybe Medic throws the fight. And that the under's juice. The fight doesn't go decisions juice. Maybe throws it.
Salakov and Medic getting this thing to decision would get a plus 400 for their steakhouse buddies.
Could be Medic. Medic might throw the fight. Simone to pipe. Schnell's going to be covered in milk by the end of the fight. Yeah. He's going to set his gloves down right in the pile of milk. Retire for the 7th time. Matt Schnell feels like the type of guy that could rig a fight in some fashion. I hope not. All right. I think that's about it, guys. All right. All that's left is going to kick it to Uncle Weezy. Uncle Weezy, let the people know any final thoughts on anything, on the scandals, on the commission, and then also let people know what you got going on throughout this week and where they can find you.
Yeah, I think we kind of did a good job about talking about all that stuff, so I'll leave it where we left it. And you can find me on YouTube, Uncle Weezy. You can find me on Twitter at MMA Weezy. And you can find my probability stats and content package on oddshopper.com. That's the best way to support my work. And I'm hoping that we win some bets on this card, and I'm hoping that we get some normalcy back to our betting markets, a lot less corruption, a lot more predictable outcomes, and hopefully a lot more hitting bets going forward if we're not walking forward into fixed fight trap lines every other week or every week.
Yep. I think we'll get back to some normalcy. I think we'll get back to maybe the good old days. You know, I don't think anybody's throwing fights for a little bit, is what I'm saying.
I hope so.
If they do, they're stupid. But yeah, I think we're gonna go back to some normalcy, which is gonna be nice, right? Because I say it all the time, Wheezy. Researching fights and betting on fights is already so hard enough. You have potential injuries, you have potential shit game plans, you have potential stuff going on, and then you factor in the shenanigans.
Yeah.
You can't factor in shenanigans. You can't factor in somebody getting hit by a car. You can't factor your fighter winning the fight getting stopped, and then having to go back out there and lose the fight. You can't cap that. I hate shenanigans. I'm sick of the shenanigans. It's been happening the last 6 weeks, and I'm done with it. I don't want to see any ref stop a fight and then restart it. If a referee stops and restarts a fight, I'm going to smash my TV. I'm going to broadcast it live and smash my TV with a baseball bat next time it happens, because I'm sick of it. I went on a long walk. I went on the longest walk in history after what Dan Mergliotta did to me in the Kyle Nelson fight. It's horrible, man. I'm sick of it. So I'm hoping this thing that happened. I think this what's happening now with Bulgaria. I think it's the best thing that could have happened to the UFC. Yeah. No more fight fixing. No more coming up to fighters and asking to throw fights. No more terrible ref mistakes. I think we're gonna be good. Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see. But this card especially, like you gotta imagine they're gonna try their damnedest to make sure everything goes smooth. This card, so we'll see. All right, do us a favor, like on your way out, subscribe as well. I'll be getting out content throughout the week on the channel, so be on the lookout for that. Don't think I'll have a ton of action on this card, but I'm sure something will stick out throughout the week. So, yeah, guys, best of luck, and we'll talk to you guys soon. See you later.